It's time to roll, time to slay, time to loot. Grab your dice, ready up, let's go!
Previously, on the Chronicles of Celestria, the Vault of the Forge fell quiet at last. As the party gathered their spoils, Zelentrus stayed back, held his stone closely, and was pulled into the stone itself. His body vanished in a breath, the 12-sided stone clattering to the floor. Its light flickering with trapped voices. From within emerged something else, a quasit named Gorgath. Revealing himself to the party, pledged loyalty to Master Zelentrus and shadowing the stone as the party carried it onward. As they left the vault behind, the party returned to King Edrin Lavamantle, presenting the heart of Ignicia and recounting the other items they had uncovered. Diego parted with a painting of the king's ancestor, sealing goodwill with art in exchange for some additional coin. What followed was darker. The king revealed evidence of compromised trade routes, threads of collusion stretching beyond Ignicia, and proof that Stonehaven, including those within the coalition itself, were at fault. At the party's request, the dead were questioned. From Dorian Emberforge's corpse came fractured truths of Talon's reach, of three forces entwined in shadow: the Coalition, the Black Network, and someone named Blue. And of Talon's true aim with the stones, only a few words were uttered: continuation, God's end, systems endure. With that somewhat fractured knowledge laid bare, King Edrin urged haste. Stonehaven would have to answer or be alerted, and King Ollivander Brooks would see them there. However, the party wished to try to rally Dan Veer for the use of a portal gate to teleport themselves to Stonehaven. That night, as the party rested, Ashira dreamed. Glacia came to her, offering power not just for her soul, but for the blood that already bound them. Yet, before any bargain could be sealed, Callista Argent intervened, reminding Ashira that her strength need not be bought with damnation. Ashira refused the deal without need for Glacia's support. At last, the party found rest, one full night's calm beneath Lavacrest Mountain, preparing to depart at dawn, bound for Stonehaven through portal and promise. However, Zelentrus remains trapped. This is episode 29 of the Chronicles of Celestria, Embers of Anarchy. We begin today where all of you are in the tavern. You can find yourselves, Ashira has returned from her walk, and as you sat back down on the bed, Ashira, you notice that there's a glow coming from the stone. But throughout this period of time that's passed us, Zelentrus, we begin where you are, somewhere different, where time almost stood still. Time has passed whilst you've been in the stone, so we begin with you. And I will take you all to that screen. Zelentrus, the moment your fingers closed around the stone, the world folded inward. Sound vanishes at first, then the weight, then your own breath as if pulled from your lungs. You're pulled inward, not dragged, but not falling, almost like you were unmade, drawn through cracks in reality that exist only between moments. When sensation returns to you, you find yourself standing upon nothing. Above you is a fractured sky of multiple different realities. You see what looks to be stars, almost frozen mid-explosion. Beneath you, you see white sand, reflecting faces that are not yours back at you. Before you are fragments of large rock with runes that glow purple. However, they're fractured, broken, wrong. What you notice is that the stone is no longer in your hand. It's everywhere. And you are no longer alone. Around you, first you feel it, an essence, almost like a vision, luring into sight before you. You see what appears to be, if I just get him on the token there, you see before you, he appears first, a tall Aasimar figure. His armor is cracked and radiant with what you immediately recognize as a green false light. His wings are burned to the edges, feathers dissolving into drifting ash that merges with the sand beneath you. His eyes glow with certainty, not kindness. And then you feel it. Hear this being, this blurred vision in front of you. There's something about it that's familiar. Almost like Seraphine. Behind him, you notice on the hill is another figure. One you recognize instantly. You feel a kinship. A woman of starlight. Her form appears fractured, as if parts of it haven't quite fixed in. They're blurred through. It's incomplete. Her left arm is missing. Her voice appears to echo as she talks towards you, delayed, as if the world struggles to remember her. You hear it. Zelentrus. She's not commanding. It's almost like a pleading. And then, before we come to you, you feel a final entity. One you know immediately. As around you, you feel a large shadow entity, as if darkness itself is smiling towards you. Something vast coils through the cracks in space itself, not a body, a shape. And as it does so, you feel the shadow around you bleeds into the area. A presence that presses your thoughts like a blade behind the eyes. You feel everything in your head as it's spoken to you.
Little heir, you stand where gods fit.
At this moment, you see that the gentleman in front of you, the Aasimar man, steps forward to you. At last, my blood stands before me. The line of Drakion fulfilled. He turns his gaze towards the skies above you. We were chosen once, you and I, Seraphine's champions, the keepers of her deceitful light. I stole the celestial stone from the heavens to preserve her truth, to bind it to Azulara's faith when the gods turned their faces away. As he looks to you, you hear it as if it's only spoken across you, as if it's echoed in the back of your mind. You hear almost like a hiss of steam.
You think you hid from me, Osman of the Deceiver's grace. But every shadow cast by light belongs to me. You forged the door, and now I step through it.
You feel that the mist around you, this darkness, this almost purple shadow, floods this mirrored plane. Osman's figure flickers as it does so. Half man, half shadow. His armor is almost melting into what looks to be like almost serpentine coils down to the ground. And then you see behind him, very faint, is Seraphine's echo. Almost as though it's around him, blocking him or shielding him. It can't quite manifest. Her power appears to be split and sealed within the very gem or stone that you stand upon right now. A hand of flame reaches out towards you from Osman as you hear, "Your blood carries both betrayal and promise, young Drakian. Become her vessel, and you will walk one step closer to those of the gods." For the first time, you are face to face with those whose voices have been echoing in your head, speaking to you via the stone. For the first time, it begins to make sense to you that this plane, the stone, the dimension that you stand in, it's not merely a stone. It's a relic. It's a prison. These are not the gods themselves, nor do they declare themselves to be. You know that these are almost like echoes of the past of faith enduring. Osman looks to you as I see Zelentrus absorbing all of this information, witnessing all of this. Osman looks to you. "I apologize for not revealing my true form to you sooner. Seraphine's image is able to travel beyond the reaches of the stone, much more than my own. I am Osman. The history of this stone relic should be known to you. No more lies, no deceit. Your place in this tapestry as blood of mine." He lifts his hand, and in doing so, you see above him a large, what looks like a shattered piece of glass, large sort of reflective mirror above you opens up, and you feel it rush in. Your eyes begin to glow bright, and you can see it reflected on the area around you as you feel, as you look at this glass shard, memories that are not your own rushing in.
Long ago, when the world still remembered balance, there lived a keeper named Dantis Solvanko. He was not a god. He was something rarer. A mortal entrusted with the burden of closing what gods could not. When the planes bled into one another, when fire tore through the veil between worlds, Dantis Solvanko stood alone at the threshold. In his grasp burned a starlight stone, a fragment of the heavens bound to mortal will. With it, he sealed the planar rift. The cost was absolute. The portal closed. Dantis fell. and the stone was lost, dragged screaming into the plane of fire, beyond memory, beyond reach. Centuries passed, and then a wizard named Valian found the truth. In a ritual, he bound a genie that had walked the mortal plane to the plane of fire, reopening a long-closed portal to the plane of fire, seeking that which Dantis had lost. The stone answered him. It burned at his chest as he stepped back into the world, as many other portals opened, and he struggled to contain them. The balance once more stood on the edge of a blade. From the smoke stepped an adventuring party, including an Aasimar warrior, Osman. He wore the armor of a paladin. He spoke the vows of the prime gods, but his power came from elsewhere. For Osman was not chosen by any of the prime. He was the warlock champion of Seraphine, goddess of deceit. Valian did not see the blade coming. Osman struck him down, and as the wizard died, Seraphine whispered, "Take it." At that time, Azulara was still worshipped by those in her circles. Her relic, a legendary artifact, a 12-sided stone, shone with living faith. Paladins carried it into battle. Fate twisted. Blows glanced aside. Death hesitated. It is said the stone was once set into the hilt of a blade, a symbol that even misfortune could be wielded. But faith is fragile, and over generations, worship waned. The stone dimmed, its power receded, and within it a hollow formed. Where faith retreated, something else listened. From the whispers of Fervis, god of chaos, a shadow pressed inward. Not a god, not a soul, a thing made to endure. Vorath Kar. It did not force its way inside. It waited, and when the hollow was deep enough, it settled. Meanwhile, in Veridstra, the Fellowship did not begin in ruin. It began as a warning. Azulara was worshipped not as a god of fortune, but as a reminder of fortune's fragility. Her faith believed luck was not a blessing, but a balance. That faith gave her relic power. Kalara Drakian was among the first to understand this truth. She founded a circle to preserve it, the Fellowship. The creed was simple: place faith in nothing blindly, not chance, not gods, not destiny. But belief fades, and where belief weakens, ideology hardens. Over generations, the Fellowship forgot its warning. What began as humility became certainty. What began as balance became chaos. And slowly, the Fellowship learned to wield ruin as a lesson. Thus, It was renamed by history the Fellowship of Ruin. Into the Fellowship stepped Osman, champion of Seraphine, goddess of deceit. She did not command him, she guided him, whispering of leverage, of legacy, of a lie that could endure longer than truth. Osman did not seize control, he intertwined himself. As he knelt before the Fellowship of Azulara and Azulara's relic, not in worship, in calculation, he bound a fragment of his soul along with the recovered starlight stone within the 12-sided relic. With Seraphine's power, he concealed it. Azulara's faith masked the light. Seraphine's deceit hid the truth. And within the stone, the starlight stone was sealed. Azulara's fading blessing lingered. Vorath-Ka slept. Seraphine left an echo, and Osman bound a fragment of his soul. A perfect prison. Or so he believed. His daughter was raised to marry Aldrin Drakion, Kalara's firstborn son, a union sanctified not by love alone, but by prophecy. Together, Azulara and Seraphine spoke.
This is the first generation.
Aldrin Drakion was the first. From him would come a lineage of firstborn sons, each stronger than the last, each unbroken, each prepared. Drakius Drakion, Scorpix Drakion, Luciferus Drakion, Travian Drakion, and finally, Zelentrus Drakion. The Fellowship told them all the same story. You are chosen. You will awaken the relic. You will wield its true power. But that was never the truth. The fourth bearer, Luciferus Drakion, died screaming. He was slain not by a man named Mordred, but by a lich named Morgrin. A name the world would forget, a name history would soften. Morgrith shattered the relic. He tore the starlight stone free, and the husk, emptied, corrupted, was cast into dark. Vorath-Ka endured. Osman's echo endured. Seraphine still watched as Azulara's faith began to falter. Time passed before balance broke again. A keeper fell, and when Gamma struck down the next bearer of balance, the husk of Azulara's stone fused with the stone of Lava Mantle. Two legacies, one prison. The Fellowship believed they were preparing a savior. Osman believed he was preparing a key. Seraphine believed she was preparing a champion. Vorath-Ka believed he was preparing a vessel. And now only one truth remains. The Starlight Stone can be freed, but not without blood. One echo must fall. One voice must be silenced. and the lie must end here.
As this comes flooding into you, Zelentrus, as you look down, as your soul is filled with all of these, almost, you feel them almost like memories, almost like you lived it, as you see the stars above you, these sort of fractured moving stars, freeze. The entirety of the area around you hums, the stone hums, and for the first time, the voices do not speak in unison. Osman believes you are ready. Vorath Kar, as you now know this shadow entity, believes that you are useful. You know that Seraphine watches through, likely, these borrowed eyes of her champion, or her champion's echo, Osman, and that Azulara's grasp here still somewhat lingers, though there is a fading faith. But what you also know is somewhere beyond all of them, Fervis, the god, the prime god of chaos, waits to see which blade you become. Before you say anything else, before you manage to speak, as this all comes flooding in and you settle yourself back in this plane, Vorathkar looks to you. You see his eyes, larger than any being you've seen, encompassing this area around you. As he looks to you, these glowing, vibrant eyes, you hear him say,
He shows you memories of a life before your own. Yet you are played like a ball. You didn't question it, but you showed them the way in. You still didn't realize the moon pool, its location revealed by your mere presence. Seraphine's eyes shared their secret. You paved the way for them. You showed them where it was found. Even an archdruid cannot stand against the spirit of a crow.
Osman looks to you. It is true. Naya, the crow spirit beast, was shown when you brought the stone into their inner sanctum at the grove. But the crow is not hers. The spirit crow, it was never Seraphine's. It is Fervis who truly owns him. I needed you to find the stone. The one I requested you take, as you remember, the stone that bound Luriel, the stone that was used to
The crescent
tear
stone.
him. Correct. You remember this stone at your side. I needed you to find the stone, to bind Vorathkar's essence here, before it is too late, before I too was swallowed whole. And then a familiar voice speaks your name, calm, confident, certain. Azilara. Zelentrus, now you understand. You must choose. You see now, as Osmond says softly, everything was done to protect the stone, to prepare you. He gestures to Vorath Kar. He gestures to the large glowing sphere behind you that's sort of elevated above you, this floating stone. Split it. Replace its heart with the Grove Stone and bind Vorath Kar. You will wield power without corruption, and Seraphine will guide you. His eyes harden as he looks to you. Your friends are acceptable losses. You hear Vorath Kar chuckle.
Oh, Osmond. Still pretending you were in control.
You feel his essence coils around you as he moves closer. And you can see that Osmond almost shudders as he gets closer, almost like he's being pulled into part of Vorath Kar as he gets closer. He comes right up to you.
Kill him.
Osmond freezes and looks to you. You would side with him, with Zelentrus.
I would side with him.
As he looks to you.
Because he does not kneel. Let me give you the strength to end this liar. And when the stone is empty, I will fill it.
Zelentrus, as Elirr on a final line says to you, power chosen in defiance is still power. But remember this, balance is not purity. It is restraint. You hold the power. You must make your decision. And we come to you, Zelentrus. All right.
Zell. Okay. Zell will walk around Vorath Kar and walk over to Azulara. Actually, no, scratch that. First, actually, what Zell would do, Zell would walk around Osmond and go to this essence of Seraphine. Do I feel as though any of the talking that I've done so far, any of it has actually been with Seraphine, or has it all been with Osmond basically pretending to be Seraphine?
You can see as you walk closer to her that she appears to have a very light grasp here, almost like she's faint. It appears as though while she looks to you, it's almost like she doesn't have a voice here. And part of you feels perhaps it could have been Osmond all along.
Okay. Just by kind of looking at her face, do I get much of an idea of if Osmond's way is something she wants?
She appears to look upon you eagerly, almost like waiting for you to sign a deal. As though you know that Osmond was a champion of Seraphine. At the moment, you aren't that. Potentially what Osmond is saying to you is that you could be.
Zell will go over to Azulara.
Mm-hmm.
You're the only one not making your advice clear. What happens if I walk away? What happens if I walk deeper into the stone? What happens if I walk deeper into the prison?
You risk losing yourself, Zelentrus. Should you wish not to choose, you could remain. You will remain within the stone. The only way out for you is to remove one of them, to unlock the stone's power and free the Starlight Stone. Should you not decide at this juncture, Vorath-Ka will likely take control. I cannot guarantee you will survive this.
Max, I'm going to tell you what I plan to do, and
Okay.
you can tell me how plausible it is.
Okay.
I want to do two things at once. I want to replace the core with the crescent at the same time as I shoot Osmond to death. I want to simultaneously seal him away and not make this pact that could risk my friends.
Okay. Okay. Okay, this is interesting. This is interesting for me. Okay. So you're planning to walk up to the stone and essentially replace it with the Grove's binding stone.
Yeah, whatever the instructions were, smash it and swap and whatever that was. And then as I do that, other hand turns around and shoots Osmond.
Okay. Yeah.
Or, like, at the very least, do I get the feeling that if I kind of get Osmond, like, finish off Osmond before leaving the stone, that both entities would no longer...
They would both
Because
lose.
one is a dark entity... Yeah, one is a dark entity of chaos that is this very clearly evil force. I think we've seen that quite clearly. Or at least that's how Zell has seen things.
Right, okay.
This version of Seraphine that isn't Seraphine, this is
Whispered through her champion almost.
Yeah. Well, this is her champion, who's one of my ancestors, and let's be quite clear, my bloodline doesn't have the best track record of good people. Like, my father is an arse in every single sense of the term. And the moment I saw him, I saw my father. Like, there is definitely resemblances between the two. You've seen the character art for him. That was initially my thought. This guy has clearly been lying to me and now says that my friends are acceptable losses after I told them time and time again that these people that I'm journeying with have never been... I wouldn't even lie to them, let alone allow them to be losses.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I will allow you to do this. If that's the action that Zell would like to take, you can do that with your character. Yeah. So I would say... Yeah.
Looking at my inventory as well, I do have... I'm thinking of what I use to kind of shatter this if I'm going to be using my pistol to shoot at Osmond. And I will say, it came up in the group chat, but I have looked through my equipment and it is something I can do. Channeling because it does, I'm not looking at the chat, but it does glow golden as it comes up, so I couldn't not see this.
Words around the table. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I do have the dagger that comes from the Time Loser.
You do.
And within that, there is some obviously form of Starlight Essence, Starlight Power, some some form that would be related to the origins of this stone as well, to the best of my knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I will try to destroy the core with the dagger as I take the shot at Osman to finish them simultaneously.
So you want to destroy the core of the celestial stone or the core of this stone as a whole? Just so I'm clear.
Which is the one that I have been told to do to seal away Vorathkar?
Essentially what you have, if you imagine almost like an orb that's held within, like let's picture it as a bowl. And the bowl holds at the moment a starlight stone. You've been told that it will come free. In order for you to bind Vorathkar here, you need to use the stone that you picked up at the grove. The stone that Seraphine, or I guess Osman, told you to pick up when you were there. He has told you that that is what binds him. That is how you restore this relic of Azulara, and Osman can remain here. If you try to kill Osman, or the essence of him, what's left, and bind Vorathkar, it'll be interesting what happens.
Let's do interesting of what happens.
Destroying the Celestial Stone you won't be able to do. I will tell you now, it is like
That's fine.
Relic. However, if you're planning to replace the stone with this new stone, the stone that you picked up at the grove.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to seal Vorathkar at the same time. I'm going to slay Osman.
I'm not going to ask a roll for you here, because you are basically operating in freedom. You have the option to make decisions here. This is your point of choice. I will say that you remove the stone, it burns in your hand as you have a starlight stone that has been giving off all of this light energy. It almost crackles and you feel it radiate down your arm. Every crack in your skin glows as you make contact with this. And then it cools and hums. As you turn to put the other stone in, Vorathkar, you can feel his eyes on you. And as you place it down, as you place the Celestial Stone in your pocket and you place it down, you hear, he says,
"They will fail you, and I will be waiting."
As you place it, you feel his essence is almost like sucked out of this area directly into him. And as you see his face, as you turn, as you see his face almost shrivel into like a little tiny ball of smoke, you feel it pulse with a dark, almost obsidian black smoke emanating through before it collapses on itself. As you turn and shoot at Osman in this moment, you hear, as the bullet shoots through him, you just hear, "You were never the chosen. You were the contingency." As his essence fades, and all three of them fade. However, as you feel yourself being pulled, almost like expanding in this space, you notice that Azulara, her arm begins to form. You notice that the elements of her that were missing begin to almost become back intact. Her eyes glow like bright fluorescent purple. And that's when you feel yourself being sucked from this area, growing, expanding. You almost feel it like it hurts as you emerge from existence back into the tavern. And I would say that Ashira, it's quite an unnerving surprise as you notice that Zelentrus, you see that where you come in, where this darkness was, where you were sucked into the void, as you saw this bright purple glow as if filling the room that you're in. You feel yourself forced out of the stone. And Judge, you would be the first to notice, alongside, of course, Ashira, that the stone of Zelentrus lifts incredibly fast out into the middle of the room as it hovers, glowing, twisting in multiple ways as you see the runes twisting and turning violently, letting off a bright, blinding purple light. As Zel, you return, you find yourself fizzle into place, falling to your feet above Ashira. The stone falls in your hand. As it lands in your palm and glows purple before dimming. Light pours out. It's pure and searing, and you can feel it emanate up your arm as you glow purple. You can all see, even through the darkest parts of his clothing, his armor, are these purple cracks in his skin, this Aasimar sort of crack, glowing purple. And outside, you hear a crow overhead screeches. It feels as though its gaze has been severed. Zel, you collapse. In one palm, you have your stone, Zel's stone, now glowing with the purple runes on it, brighter than before. In his other hand, unmistakable to you, Ashira, and now Judge, a starlight stone, whole, silent, and watching. As in a full circle moment, Zel, you have chosen your friends over prophecy. That is where we come back to everybody, as you see Zel falling to the ground here, collapsing after re-emerging from the stone. What you would notice is that Gorgath fizzles out. And that's where I'd like to invite all of you to tell me what happens as Zel hits the floor, or I guess the end of the bed. You can tell me, Ashira, where you were sat, but he would have basically emerged above you and then fallen.
Well, I was on my bed, so he would probably fall on my bed and hopefully dodge my horns on the way down.
Perfect. Yeah.
How much damage do I take?
Just-
How much, I get gored by the horns.
Perfect. Yeah. What do you guys do?
I think Judge in the moment just as she says that, Judge brings out his hammer and just goes to like wield it back, and he's like looking.
You just see me crawl underneath from like the bed. Well, the mat, whatever fell on top of me. What the fuck just? Zel? What happened?
He's
unconscious, dead to the world right now.
Oh.
Oh my god. Judge, can you get him up? Hello?
Yeah, I got him. I will lift Zel up, princess style. I'll lift him up princess style.
Out of curiosity, DM, knowing how the stone works, how long have I not been breathing for?
You probably haven't been breathing for about almost 24 hours. No, maybe 18 hours, as you've been essentially holding your breath for that period. Time does work differently in the stone, as it was technically a pocket dimension. So it's just as well you didn't put it into the bag of holding. Because, look that up if you don't know what that does. Pocket dimension, it's pocket dimension, not a...
Why do you think I was pushing it?
Not a good idea. But yes, essentially that's what that was. And yeah. Zel returns to his consciousness. You feel...
What is that stone in his hand over there?
Is it hurting him again? Maybe I'll take it.
Which
I'll take
one? Which one are you gonna take?
The one he's holding?
There's 2 stones he's holding.
And does one of them look like it did when he was getting hurt by it?
Yes. Well, not black, but it
I
is
would
the
say-
same stone.
I would say the stone that everyone's kind of familiar with, even in this unconscious state, I'd say that Zell's hand is gripped around it.
Mm.
Whereas Starlight Stone, it's just loose and kind of lying on top of it with a bit of the glint coming through.
Just you get him back up. I'll take these. I'll just try and get both of them and try and pry the other one out of his hand. And then maybe then I go, hang on, I recognize this one stone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is spitting image of the stone that was in your amulet. Very, very similar.
So,
Guys,
right, this is one of those very powerful stones.
this is one of the stones. It's got to be.
How did Zell get in possession? And I'll set Zell down on one of the beds. This one right here, as it's close.
You set him on one of the beds and like you try
Yeah.
to like sit him upright and like instantly he just kind of falls to the side, like
Oh.
almost rolling off the bed because he's just
It's like I'll tuck him in, you know, try to put his head on the pillow, tuck him in, you know.
Mhm.
I don't understand. The stone we knew of, he had, you know, there was beings in it, but I mean, how did he get in possession of a starlight stone?
I don't know, Judge. Maybe you wake him up and we can ask him.
Do we really? He's knocked out. I mean, I don't know if you really want to wake him up right now. He looks like he needs to sleep.
Did you check his pulse? Is he even alive?
I'll lay on hands, heal him. I'll give him 4 hit points. I'll give him 4.
Yep.
Yeah, he's fine to me. If he was dead, that wouldn't work. So I assume he's alive.
I will let Zell decide when he returns to consciousness.
I
But-
think with the warmth of that kind of healing magic, Zell will wake up. We can figure out the details of the subclass later.
Mhm.
Can, with this big change happening, change to my new character sheet?
Yes, you can.
Where Zell has dropped all levels of Warlock, all levels of Bard, and gone full Warlock.
Zell was essentially remade. I don't have your sheet here, but you were essentially remade. Aha, there you are. As you were essentially remade as a warlock. And I will tell you now, the patron you have is essentially that of Azulara. At least that's where you believe your power is to be coming from. Like, it's her color. From within the stone, whether the relic is hers or not, that is the connection. But yeah, I'll add you to the sheet in a second.
To say basically what the subclass is, I'm going with the UA vestige subclass, so we will work out what the vestige is of. But yeah,
Very nice. Yep. What do you guys do?
Zell, you're
Hey,
hey, you're alive. Well, I knew that, but you're here.
yeah. Wow, that was. How long's it been? Like, wait, why are we back here?
Well, you kind of disappeared in the vault. I mean, you were just gone for some time. We've been. Yeah.
I remember the vault. I had to make a choice in the stone. Between Seraphine's champion, who'd been talking to me the whole time, and the shadow creature. Something to
Shat-
do with one of the prime gods.
Shadow creature.
Its name is Vorath Kar. It's related to Fervis, the prime god of chaos.
Right.
I had to choose which one I would align myself with, and I chose neither. And I bound Vorath Kar inside the stone, and I killed Seraphine's champion.
Well, okay. Let's
That
take a
is
let's
a
take a deep
crazy
breath
story.
here. That is a lot to take in that time frame here. So you killed a champion of a god, and then you sealed another one away.
It was a fragment of the champion of this god. It was way better than I've ever done in any of our fights. I've got to be real with you.
Well, I mean, that's impressive.
Because it was just one shot. It was just one shot. It was really impressive. Like
One
really
shot.
well aimed. Like one shot,
Wow.
and I like sealed
Yeah.
something to do with a god. So I'm a little bit hazy on the details right now.
Hey, no. Take a deep breath. I mean, gather yourself together. But you are okay. You are Zell. And Judge points to the hammer. You know, if you're not feeling 100%, we can fix this.
I mean, I'm not feeling 100%, but like I think that's just due to coming out the stone.
Do you need more healing? I can heal you. I can try to make you feel better. I mean, whatever you need.
I think this is more emotional damage.
Right.
Ashira
Okay.
will walk over to the bed that he's sitting on and sort of kneel down next to it to get on eye level. I assume I'm still holding on to both stones unless they've already returned to him.
You guys tell me. I assume so.
Okay. But I don't know because these stones are not mine. It's good to have you back. I was worried. And, well, looks like you might also be one of those keepers of balance as she shows him the Starlight Stone.
I think as Ashira gets down to his level and looks at him in the eyes, as he turns to look at hers, a flash of lilac glints across both. And yeah, I guess I was pretty lucky there. What do you mean a keeper of balance?
Well, you came out grabbing two stones. Your old one and this one, which maybe you wouldn't know, but this is identical to my stone. My granddad's stone.
That's lava mental stone. That's there. That's the key. Remember how Gamma slayed one of the keepers of balance, the old lava mantle? And I say this to both of you. And has anyone else woken up at this point and is like hearing this conversation, or is everyone else still fast asleep?
I imagine.
Well, I didn't have much room to interfere, so I was like, I'll let you guys do whatever you do, and then I'll react afterwards. But upon Zell popping out of his stone, dropping her somewhere, and Ashira screaming, hey, Sylas probably would have woken up. Well, he would have woken up. Readied a starry blast towards where the sound came from. But holding it, like not attacking, but like, hey, there's something happening. And waking up, sitting on the edge of his bed now, assuming you're still in this bed in the middle, so he can overhear the conversation.
I think, yeah, at that point, Zell will, kind of looking forward, see Sylas is also awake and basically speak a little bit louder so that Sylas can hear him. And Zeb, were you saying that Elirr had woken up with this, or?
Like, yeah, I mean, depending on how loud it was, but at some point Elirr probably would have stirred, and I guess when Sylas essentially reacts as well, like, at the very least, then he would, like, kind of jump out of bed, surprised. Like, what are you doing?
And at this point, Zal will look towards both of them and raise his voice a little bit so he can be heard more efficiently, and just say, the Keeper of Balance that Gamma killed. I don't know that... I'm not too clear on the details. It's all a little bit blurry. But at some point, the lava mantle stone made its way into this relic of Azulara. And it had been keeping an essence or a creature created by Fervis, the god of chaos, some evil shadow creature called Vorath-Kar, and it had sealed it inside the stone. As this Starlight Stone got free, something else had to bind Vorath-Kar to keep him locked away. I used the Crescent Stone, the one with the black obsidian gem, that they tried to use to seal away L'Oreal back at the Grove. And I've used that to seal Vorath-Kar away. If I'd sealed Vorath-Kar away without doing anything about Seraphine, apparently I would have been on a path to kill all of you. And I wasn't going to let that happen. So I killed Seraphine's champion as well, and made deals with neither of them.
This might sound very stupid, but can I do a history check to actually know who Vorath-Kar is?
You can certainly try. Yeah, if you guys want to do a history check, if the name Vorath-Kar rings any bells.
4. I have no clue who the guy is, so I will look at Zel in mass confusion in this story.
Judge with a 14.
Jesus Christ, Elirr.
Jeez!
Of course Elirr knows, because why not?
Elirr wrote the book on Vorath-Kar.
I would want to roll on like the names mentioned, like that he had to seal away a champion, as well as using the stone to seal away that dark entity. So you make a pick what you...
Diego wakes up looking very tired, looking at everyone like, why are you all speaking so loud? His hair is immaculate, but he's got tired eyes.
So, for the viewers at home, we had a 4 from Sylas, a 14 from Judge, and then a 27 from Elirr. I will tell you now...
Elirr actually wrote his dissertation at the Academy on Vorath-Kar.
I will tell you now that the name Vorath-Kar does not raise any familiar signals to any of you. None of you have heard this name.
That's insane.
However, Elirr with the 27, you are familiar with the idea of gods having champions. Judge with a 14, you're obviously familiar with that aspect as well.
I'm a champion myself.
You have that going for yourself. Elirr, you're familiar with the concept of gods having champions. You're also familiar with the aspect of, or the aspect, I guess, yeah, of sealing away entities using tremendous powers. Things such as the spell Banish come to mind. And ancient rituals conducted by mages or wizards to basically seal great deals of energy or power, including that of what you remember being said of titans to their planes of existence. You remember that that is an element of they're sealed, they cannot be destroyed. Something super powerful, tremendous amounts of energy can never be destroyed. It can only be transported or transferred somewhere else. In the case of the elementals, which is the one that comes to mind with the 27, they were sealed to their own planes of existence because there was so much power. They had to go to their own planes, and that's what you would, I guess, acquire with a 27, because reality is you guys have no idea who Vorath-Kar is, but that is such a high roll that those are the things that come to mind as potentially relevant to this situation. Yeah.
Can I just ask very quickly before I forget? All these things you're describing about Vorathkar and everything like that. Do I have a feeling of which one, if either, Vorathkar or Seraphine was the corrupting force behind my family's cult?
Ooh. Okay, I'll tell you this. You get the impression that perhaps your family's cult, the one that was set up by the Drakians, including Kalara, when she set up the Fellowship, it's almost as if it was set up to corrupt from the start. But obviously an element, like to move away from Azulara's faith, that was from the beginning, and that would have been Seraphine's champion. There was a lie that you were worshipping Azulara this whole time. In reality, you were worshipping a dark god. Whether or not that's been the case and they are aware of that, you didn't know. You know that you were never taught that. You were taught the ways of Azulara. But one way or another, Seraphine has been the benefactor. Vorathkar doesn't appear to be the corrupting force of at least the Fellowship. However, it has been a corrupting force of Azulara and what remains of her faith. It was eating away at what was left. It was filling the space that was made so that Seraphine could take her spot. So in a way, they're both corrupting. Hopefully that answers the question.
Okay, so both different parts of it have corrupted.
Correct. In terms of your family, it would be Seraphine. In terms of the stone and the faith of Azulara and what remains in the relic, it would be Vorathkar.
Okay, so the family's cult was corrupted by Seraphine.
Correct.
Vorathkar corrupted me.
Yes, exactly.
Understand.
That's the
Okay.
way I would look at it.
Zell, I have a question about, because you said Vorathkar was with the stone because okay. I guess my question is, the Starlight Stone and Vorathkar and the stone, was something together? Was the Starlight Stone taken into the stone you've had on you this whole time? Like what's the
Yeah,
what's the
it
deal
seemed
with
like...
both of those stones?
So from my understanding, good morning. Good morning, Diego.
What?
There was someone called Dantis Silvanco. They were immortal and they had a Starlight Stone. And they lost it in the Plane of Fire. Then there was a wizard called Valian who found the stone, and this champion of Seraphine, my ancestor, Osman, killed Valian. And then I get a little bit confused because I think that at some point Valian's Starlight Stone ends up in the relic of Azulara. And then... Yeah, sorry, Osman stole the relic and placed the Starlight Stone in there. Then at some point, Mordred found the stone and stole the Starlight Stone from it. And then when Gamma killed Lava Mantle, his stone ended up in the relic
I'm
instead.
confused.
You're
I
spot
don't
on.
believe
Yeah, no, so am I. I am so confused.
The problem is the fact that you just spoke my dad in here makes it a bit more confusing, because I don't understand when he would have... I don't think I remember him having possession of a Starlight Stone. I mean, I knew he had an artifact. I brought him one, but I didn't think he'd ever gotten contact with a stone. So unless he did that while I was gone, or this has been something he planned behind my back. I don't remember that. I don't know where that information's coming into play, but
Judge,
Excuse
buddy,
me.
I've got to tell you, I don't breathe when I'm in that stone. So there
Right.
could be some
Yes.
serious oxygen deprivation
No,
damage
I
going on
get
up
it.
here
I
right
get
now.
it.
Excuse me. Can we at least have a morning coffee before we speak any further?
right.
Like, what the
Sure.
hell? It is like... I look at the window. Like, 6, 7, 9 in the morning.
7.
Yeah.
I get up
No
and
worries, Diego,
I'm the
I'll
one
get you some
like
coffee. You stay here, so I'll get some coffee.
So who was
okay,
your
okay, thanks,
who are your
Silas.
parents? Osmond was your dad. Who was your
Osmond was
mother?
not my dad. Osmond was not
Right,
my dad.
he's your
Osmond,
okay.
he's an ancestor apparently.
Right.
He was
Who
apparently
else is an
married to
ancestor?
Kalara,
Yeah.
who is Kalara is the ancestor that I have worshipped.
Right.
Oh, not worship, but like
Right.
who I was almost kind of all my ancestors. As I grew up, I was obviously told that I would eventually become leader of this group. And there are different parts of my family that different members of my family revered. I personally revered Kalara and looked up to her and what she did. Hence why I was given so many of her relics, these boots being hers.
Right.
And there's other relics of hers
Kalara.
near Stonehaven.
Kalara is an ancestor of yours. Well, this is interesting. She was present when we went and fought a man over an artifact. I've met her before.
I might have met her too.
have-
I know a Kalara once.
Right.
I look over and there is I don't think it needs an insight roll. DM, it's up to you, but there is a look on Zell's face of like, I didn't know you were into really old women. But like, just good to know going forward.
Mhm.
I had a great time.
I've heard, and it's apocryphal. There's stories of legend, but I've heard of how she ended up in Shroudhaven and how she ended up setting up where we were. That there was a quest that I believe she used the term isekai, and they all ended up in this strange area, which is where she collected so many of her relics. And her and the group that she was with chased after this Owlin thief. And
Well, okay,
That's
okay.
how-
Listen, first of all, I would just like to say I don't think I was a thief, but
you were the thief.
I probably was, to be honest. I mean, but I met her. I mean, I knew Kalara. I mean, well, not as well, but
in the legends, the thief is described as the lowest of the low, like a speck of barely even worthy of existence.
right.
And I wouldn't have
Thanks.
said that was you, but if that's you, then
Right.
then you know that's
Well,
what the legends say.
Look. I listen. Just to preface this by saying, I was taken to a place. I needed to find something. Kalara happened to be there. She went with me. Some of the others did too. A really aggressive Githyanki woman. She was mean. She just, I don't know, something about her was mean. This little man with an owlbear, he was really cool though. He was pretty funny. Very innocent, very innocent. I mean, it was a decent group. And then this, I believe it was a Dragonborn fellow went with us too at some stage. And then two people who kind of left towards the end, but I don't really remember much of them. But I mean, there was a group of us. I don't know what happened. All I remember is they went with me, and I don't remember what happened afterward. But Kalara was with us. Do you know what she would have been? I mean, do you know much about what she was doing? And I mean, what? I didn't know she set up in Shroudhaven though. I mean, that was
Well, it
from
wasn't
my
in
memory, that
Shroudhaven. It
place-
was in Twilight Village where she ended up
right.
setting up. But she came through to Shroudhaven and then went over to went over there. Basically, from what I understand, this Osman must have corrupted Kalara's vision and understanding of Azulara's teachings, and as a vehicle for Seraphine, and that in Kalara's eyes, she was setting up the Fellowship of Ruin as a warning of not heeding the lessons that misfortune gives us, not heeding the lessons history gives us. And that's been corrupted over time for the Fellowship of Ruin to now seek the ruin of society as it is today, so that they can teach their own lessons about how things should be.
So somehow,
And
All
that's
of a
who.
sudden, you hear a knock on the door, and Sylas talking like, "Can somebody open the door? My hands are over full."
Hey, I got it.
I
Oh, you're
walk
not
in and I
here.
hand out everyone.
The door.
The other door, Diego. The other door.
Isn't that the staff room?
I just find it weird how Mordred
He just
got a-
walked in and just started making coffee himself. No one was working, so you know.
It's fucking 7 a.m. in the morning. Come on. Everyone
Like
has
that
coffee.
one person baking bread, and like you come in, they're just like, "I'm not paid enough to deal with this. You just go ahead and make that coffee, bro."
Morning.
So, not wanting to interrupt the fun and all, but so, Zel, I've been going over this. Like, you say you bound an entity in your stone. Like, you sure? Like, that where did it come from? Like, it might have gone back to, like, if you banished or something like that. Are you sure
So,
it's still there?
Elirr, if you can't tell by the way I've been describing this story, I'm not really sure what's happened in there. So sure isn't really a term I would use to know what happened. I just did the things that basically they wanted me to stop the champion, and the shadow creature wanted me to stop the other one. So I stopped them both and did what both of them asked. And that's the most I can give you.
Should we do, like, I don't know, a checkup or something? Are you feeling good at all now?
I feel like shit, but I think that's kind of understandable given given the state that I've been in recently.
I think for now we should maybe let this sit. You know, maybe take a day. Let you recuperate first of all. I mean, you must have had a very crazy day in there, and to give you caught up to speed, we're potentially taking a magical way out of this place, thanks to, I believe, our good pal Diego.
Ta-da!
Yes. So just to let you know, we're potentially going to Stonehaven today.
It's also at this,
Sorry, what?
It's also at
It's-
this moment, Zell, that you notice they all appear to have next to them or on them some very snazzy looking items, whether it's a mantle of spell resistance or a fancy looking loot that Diego's got at his bedside. Even Ashira has tattoos. Something's changed.
I went off the rails while
since
you were gone.
weren't here.
Yep.
How long was I? What did you guys find in the? What did you guys find in the vault?
We're rich
Well,
now. I mean, we're wealthy.
We're what?
We're wealthy.
But,
We're
you have
rich.
about
Well, not
about
anymore.
4,500 gold pieces to your name at
Yeah.
the moment. So if you want to do any shopping before you go, you should probably do it this morning, even if you don't feel like it.
Did you say copper pieces?
No gold.
Gold.
Gold. Actually, some are platinum, but you know,
Yeah.
whatever
You're
floats
just
your boat.
rich. It's all.
All I would like to say is you can thank me all later, because it was my genius that allowed us to have all of this.
So,
That's not
Mirabelle
how.
has
That's
an
not at all what
You know what?
happened there at all.
You know what?
Excuse me.
No, guys.
Excuse me. I agreed with the
Mirabelle
king that
carried
we
it
could have
all
one bag. I agreed with the king we could have one bag's worth of stuff. Did we or did we not take one bag's worth of stuff?
Look, I want to
went
real deal. Even if we didn't make that deal, I was going to take
Mirabelle
stuff
had
anyway. So
I wake up upon
Give it-
I wake up upon hearing my name and smelling coffee. What's this about me? Huh?
Morning, Mirabelle.
What are you doing? Okay, well, I'm still sleeping. Okay, good night.
Mirabelle, just wake up.
I'm as Mirabelle
I'll
goes back to
take her
sleep and will
coffee.
genuinely wake up thinking she's been dreaming. Zell will go and get a shower, and just have a moment to himself and
Yep.
and do that. And Mirabelle will wake up being like, "Yeah, no, well, weird. I dreamt about Zell last night being here. So weird."
Perfect. Yeah.
But yeah, Zell will go and grab a shower. And at this point, he'll bring. He leaves the lava mantle stone with the group. You know, they're a bit more clued into what's been happening than he is. Mentally, he kind of prepares himself for the day. He knows he needs to see the king before they leave to talk about the base getting set up here for his followers. But as he kind of takes a moment with the stone in the shower,
Okay.
I don't know how it necessarily appears, but a mixture of whatever's left of the shadows, whatever's left of Osman's influence, and now the rejuvenated true ability of the relic comes out like a snake coiled around his neck as the vestige of whatever is the relic is summoned for the first time. And in its current state, it takes the form of a snake that seems to change color from shadow to green to purple as you kind of look at it, and then kind of disappears when you're not looking at it.
Very nice. Yeah. As you feel this, what feels like the beginning of a new entity that you haven't quite figured out yet. You're still coming to terms with it. I will say that with this selection, with the actions that you took, you do feel as though there's a lot more power unlocked with the relic, almost like if before you were channeling it through a wire or a corridor, like all of a sudden that has expanded 3 times over, as though the connection to the power that's feasible to draw from has opened up. It's almost like for the first time you're able to breathe clearly. But you have your shower. You realize that as you're washing away, you're not just washing away whatever it is that's been left of you, it's almost like you're washing away poetically what remains of these other gods. And as you return to the group, the rest of you, is anyone else doing anything this morning before you head out?
Extremely quick, I go to the jewelers and pick up the thing that I bought. That's it, done.
Very nice. Elirr, is there anything that you do?
Elirr was sorry. Elirr was just gonna like kind of go through his notes through all the things that we've experienced throughout. Like, yeah, he's very confused by the book last night, and he's not had good sleep. And now this happened with Zell and rituals and ancient magic and sealing of stuff, and suddenly the lava mantle stone is here, even though, yeah, it was supposed to be disappeared. And we have a book of lava mantles and all that. So he's just more or less sitting in a corner and doing what talking to himself or something.
Mhm.
But like, yeah, if anyone wants to approach him, he's there. He's potentially present.
Perfect. Zelentrus,
Yes.
I will tell you that whilst you were in the shower, whilst you were thinking things over, it came to you that the only person you witnessed as you broke down the grates in the sewers to get into the prison could have been Thoric Lavamantle. And what occurs to you is the magic that you felt, the celestial energy that you felt coming from that gate is identical to that of the stone. I will tell you because I think it's a really cool thing, because I hadn't planned for it out of session. And when you did it, I was like, oh my God, because it was that is going to make sense. I was going to have it that there was no way you could get through the sewers as a group. Lava Mantle was the one who sealed using the mantle sigil. He sealed the prison grates. The only thing that was able to break it was the stone of Thoric Lava Mantle, which now was what you used to break it and make your way through, which I think is a really cool thing because I had never planned for it to happen or for you to even go there. The whole mantle sigil thing, it was just really cool, and I just want to address it. But yes, you guys all managed to gain the benefits of a long rest, including, I will say, Zelentrus, that since you came out of the stone, you're basically renewed. You've had a shower. It's been some time since you were in the vault as well. The rest of you notice that Gorgath is now gone and seemingly doesn't appear to be anywhere in the vicinity. What do you do? This morning, you've all had your coffees, you're all dressed. Where do you go?
I'm happy to gloss over it, but Zell will speak to the king about the creed.
Cool. Yep, we'll get to that. Perfect.
We're
So
meeting with the king anyway, right? So
So you're heading to where?
the location that we discussed, we would that he would bring Danvir to for the teleportation, right? Because we discussed it'd be in the morning, and he told us where.
Yes.
Okay.
Quick question before we go though: does Zell pick up the lava mental stone, or has he left it there, and he's not retrieving it again?
Zell will pick it up if not, like unless someone else wants to hold on to it. Zell will take Lava Mantle Stone.
I
mean, while he's gone, I will.
Do we bring this up? Do we bring this up to the king?
No.
But while Zell is gone, though, I will just ask Ashira real quick. Do you want Zell having both of the stones, or do you want to hold on to the other one for now until another point?
Well, I'm happy to hold on to it, but
maybe that's a discussion.
The last one was taken from me, right? I feel a bit.
Well, you learned better. You learned.
I wouldn't be
your
given
lesson.
it. Look, I can always ask him, but do you think he shouldn't hold it?
I know if there's another stone we ever come across, I wouldn't want to hold it due to my past. And I don't know, maybe Zell might feel the same way. Maybe because of everything that's happened, maybe he doesn't trust himself holding the stone like that. I feel like that's a discussion you two should have, because I think you two are really close friends.
I will remind you.
I'll speak to him.
That throughout this time since you guys left Sylvanthal, Ashira, you have with you, I'm not sure whether on you or not, but you have a fake that you guys created of the amulet which houses the stone. I need to know at this juncture, are you wearing the stone? Outwardly.
No, it's been on my person, in the bag.
So it's only in the bag, so it's not on you. Okay, cool. Like, not physically on you,
it's
is what I mean.
No, it'll be kept for when the time is right.
Perfect.
I do, however, I wanted to do this before we get to the teleportation, so I had to put it together because I couldn't just say it. I wanted to use my sending stone to my grandfather, not the other one.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But we can do this along the way. Just before we get into the next scene, if that's okay.
I think that's a good idea. And before we go there, Elirr, do you have something you want to say?
Yeah, when Zell comes back, or if we start going towards the meetup, Elirr would want to talk to him and potentially maybe Sylas if he's in the vicinity, but mainly Zell because he's he's
Perfect.
been
What we'll
busy.
do is we will have you guys on your way and a potential discussion on the way to the Iron Throne Council where the king has told to meet you, basically just outside the main gates of the council hall where the teleportation circle is available with Danvir. What we'll do is I'll put you on the map, and before we do that, before you guys leave the Firebrand Inn, I think it's a perfect time for us to take a 5-minute break. You guys can digest some of the information that has been blurted out at you today, and we will be back in 5. So yeah, be right back. And we're back. So you guys spent the morning getting yourselves ready. Zelentrus is back. He's with you guys. You're all heading out after getting ready to visit the King Lavamantle, who I will say, for the sake of brevity, you spend your time walking through the city. During which, maybe you do rent a carriage, but we will skip past that for this moment. You guys have some time to discuss. As Elirr, you find yourself sitting next to Zelentrus, but next to Zelentrus is Sylas, as the three of you are heading towards, with the party, of course, towards Lavamantle. What do you discuss as you pull them aside?
Zerl, it's quite interesting, like that starlight stone that you had, or your stone had, or I just essentially talked to my book about it, and he said it was one of the stones Lavamantle had, and we also found a book of his, if you want to see that. It seems like almost similar to my book, like a record of sorts of the keeper. Do you I don't know if you would want to see it.
I'll take a look at the book.
Yeah, on first impression, this is the book that you saw that dwarf holding when you collapsed the prison grate. It's unmistakable. What you notice is that the cover of the book has the center of it is hollow, as if there's a stone missing from the center. It does appear to have a sort of arcane feel to it, something magical about it.
Which stone does it look like fits it?
It looks like it would be the Keeper of Balance Stone, the Starlight Stone. However, when you saw it in your brief glimpse of him when the grates dropped, it was the Stone of Azulara. You can't help but wonder if this was furthered by maybe Seraphine concealing it in that moment. But it does look like it would be the Starlight Stone that fits here.
Zell asked the group, like, the Starlight Stone fits in here. Should I put it in, or do we wait till we're at the city, or just not do it at all?
Should we research the book a bit more? I don't know, but this seems almost too good to be true that it all comes together.
Have you looked inside the book?
Sylas says try it.
Like, it's the only way to open the book, right?
No, we can open the book anyway. It's just, I imagine, we've looked in the book. According to Elirr, it seems to be like a record of is it kind of like a journal of Lavamantles, or?
It looks as though it's got... Sorry, Elirr, if you want to go ahead and describe it, by all means.
Well, like it's the the Thoric Lava Mantle Keeper of Balance. It seems to be his personal record or whatever else he might have done with it. And if it's related to his Starlight Stone, I'm sure it holds immense power or at least mysteries to all of this mess that we are currently facing. Like the tome, like my book wasn't really very helpful last night, but it did mention Lava Mantle having Starlight Stones, potentially more than one.
So, considering it is covered in blood, and Gamma slayed Lava Mantle, do you remember him having a stone back when you killed him? Or like a book like this?
Judge.
No, I don't remember. I don't have memories of that. Also, I would just like to point out maybe putting a stone in a book in the middle of the city where we're about to meet with Mr. Lava Mantle himself may not be the best interest while we're in this city, at least. Because I think if anyone caught wind that we have his stone, his family heirloom, I think that causes a lot of issues with us.
Well,
Just want to point that out there.
Seems like a good take. He did say I should, look into the book, but he didn't necessarily say that, we take more of his family stuff. Sure, yeah, maybe you're right.
All right, we'll do this when we're out of the city then.
I put the book back
Perfect.
in my pocket.
Ashira, as you guys arrive and everybody steps off the cart, as you arrive just outside of the council chambers, you see ahead of you is King Lava Mantle. He looks like he's talking to a couple people, maybe some guards, and they're quite obscured behind other guards in the area. You notice that there's a brief window where the others have stepped away from you. Do you send a message using your sending stone, as I know that's what you wanted to do?
I grab one of our many stones in our repertoire, my sending stone. And I say into it, heading to Stonehaven via teleportation, hopefully. Coalition, they're corrupted and working with Black Network. They deal with Talon. Please stay safe. Elephant Shoe, Ashira.
Perfect. As you see the stone lights up, but doesn't. You see it lights up, and as you recognize that it's receiving the message that you're sending, but there's no immediate response. As you step away from the sending stone and follow the others, you'd believe that the message was definitely sent to your grandfather's stone. As you guys arrive at the council chambers, you see that the king is standing there with a couple of other of the maybe counselors or members that he's trying to decide or could have elected in the early stages of the morning. And you see that the guards around him sort of look to you and wave to you and let you through. As he sees all of you coming towards him, he locks eyes with you, Zelentrus, and he raises a finger and turns around, talks to somebody, and comes back, and they hand him what looks to be like a document, or maybe a stack of papers. And as you guys arrive, he says to you, "You asked for land. You will have it. Here, signed, sealed, deeds. Do with it what you will. Workshop, refuge, or ruin. It's properties based in Caverns Close. I believe you mentioned you wanted to send place for your people or something along those lines. But welcome back. They're fully signed, and you have carte blanche to do as you like with that area."
I don't want to take up time by role playing this too much, because I imagine it would actually be quite a complex conversation. I've had enough this session.
Yeah. Go for it.
Are you cool with me basically glossing over me explaining and justifying and telling him the truth of who the Creed really are, and that these people were wronged, and that they need a place
I would
to...
say you give him a very brief synopsis, with which
Yeah.
he basically says to you, it's yours to do with as you please. He assigns maybe a couple of guards to maybe advertise this on your behalf, or at least to go and open it all up for you so that it's ready. And he also assigns you probably maybe will let you know. He gives you the instinct of he'll let you know once it's ready for you to take over. But you've now got the deeds officially.
Yeah, I basically say to him, it'll take them time to get here, but people are
arriving.
I've sent a message out to arrange for people to come. When they come, they'll say, hey, we're here to stay at a place. They'll say who they are, and I'm assuming they can be guided through.
Yep, and he basically nods and says, yeah, we will see to it that when they arrive, they know who to go to. As he hands this to you, he says, good morning. Right, so, Danvir, we spoke to her. She's not willing to comply. However, I brought her down just to be a little bit more convincing. If you'll follow me, as he sort of turns and waves to all of you to follow, and you follow him into the council chambers, and instead of going left or right here, you end up going down a set of stairs that is next to those you went up previously, down a set of stairs and to the left. And as you take a left down these marble stairs, there's an eeriness to this area. It's one of the few places that feels almost damp. Like the air in here is damp. For the first time, you feel almost like the skin on your face is cooled as you step into this room. And before you have a vast chamber. It's at least 40 feet up and 40 feet below that you can see as this large stone circle stands before you. Each area, almost like a magical rune, has been drawn into it. It's not glowing, but you can see what looks to be arcane runes. Elirr, you immediately recognize this as being arcane magic and probably some form of ritual circle that's been placed here. As you step in, Danvir looks to you all. She's held, her hands are bound together rather by these manacles, and you can see that she sort of looks to you all with the guards sort of holding either arm. She doesn't really want to be here. Edrin, or King Lavamantle, looks to her. You will open the gate, or you will explain to Stonehaven why you would not. He looks to you all as Danvir sort of just quietly looks away. What do you do?
Okay, are we ready? Everyone said what they needed to and done what they needed to? Okay, you bitch! And I crack my knuckles.
Maybe we find out where it is going to drop us off.
God damn it, I was so ready! Ugh.
No, you can do it. Just maybe we ask also where we get dropped off when we go to. As I look to the king. Expectantly.
Do you know where we go?
Yeah, where does this teleportation circle even go? Straight to the city center?
In theory, it should take you straight to Stonehaven itself, to one of the teleportation circles within the Pillars district of Stonehaven. She then mutters, you don't know what you're getting yourself into, what you're walking into. I won't do it.
The Pillars district. I grew up there. We will be fine.
Yeah, same. We know a thing or two. You bitch.
I won't do it. I refuse.
Okay.
As she spits on the floor.
Okay, sure. I pull out the DOS lute and I just start tuning. I'm saying, look, a last chance to have it by your own will, or I pluck a few strings and you dance to my music.
You gonna play me a song, are you? won't change my tune, I'm afraid.
Okay, sure. Well, and then I strum the DOS lute, and as I do, music starts to swirl around like stars and moonlight mist sort of like swirls around me, and as it does, it like swirls around her, fogs around, and goes in through one ear. And as it does, I say, I suggest that you obey the commands of the current King of Lavacrest, King Lavamantle, to 100% accuracy for the next 8 hours, which is exactly 24 words.
Very, very nice. Just as well, you came prepared with very explicit instructions. Can I have you put that in the chat, as you are now performing suggestion here,
Sure.
to try and suggest that she follows you and your
Do you want it just in the Discord chat?
No, sorry. The actual spell suggestion, please.
Oh, sorry.
As she will,
Yeah,
of course, try to resist this.
Yeah, she has disadvantage.
Okay. And it's a wisdom save?
It is a wisdom save, and it is DC 14. She does have disadvantage because I'm using the DOS lute, which is a charm, and any charm that I use, the targeted creature has disadvantage against.
Okay, so the first one is an 11. So, yeah,
So
an
we
11 out of
succeed.
12, so you do succeed. And immediately afterwards, she looks to you all. Hey, Lavamantle, how can I be of assistance? And you see that he goes, open the portal to Stonehaven? Ollivander! Where's Ollivander? He needs to go with you.
I would say maybe make sure you stayed safely.
Safely. Open the portal to the teleporter to Stonehaven for these lot, and he points to Ollivander, who's coming down the stairs behind you with a couple of what look to be basically well-groomed gentlemen. It's very clear they are in service of him. Probably maybe butlers or something along those lines, who have what looks to be like boxes or crates that they're carrying of maybe, it looks like some alcohols and some other bits and pieces maybe he's picked up or perused in this area. Are we going already? It's okay that I come with you, I presume. It would save me to travel through the lands.
I don't see why not. One last thing before we go anywhere, just for my own amusement, please, King Lavamantle, would you make her do a little jig?
A jig? Yeah,
she said she wouldn't dance to my tune. I want to make sure she does.
Perhaps you should dance. Show us your best dance move, Danvir, as you see that she immediately basically turns around and starts just like hopping from either side and doing like the whole, like wave going on.
I am satisfied.
While she's dancing, King Lavamantle, could you just have her elaborate, or have them elaborate for us? Why do we not know what we're getting ourselves into? What are we unprepared for?
Yeah, what is it? Yeah, great question, Zel.
Well, you heard her. Please answer their questions, Danvir. What is it that they're walking into? As you see, she turns and she's dancing and she's like, still dancing away. And she goes to you, well, the thing is that they've got a few infiltrations in the coalition, and it's a whole thing that they've got to avoid dealing with them. The coalition and the black market are in cahoots with Talon. To what degree? I don't know, but they're in cahoots, they are. Especially in Stonehaven. As you see, she's still dancing throughout all of this. She's like, going for it.
Cool.
Well,
that's fine.
Suppose we already knew that, didn't we? They're in cahoots with Stonehaven and the coalition. Right, as Ollivander is hearing this directly for the first time. Well,
what does he look like?
Insight check. I want to insight check him right now.
Yes, by all means, you guys can do an
Yeah.
insight check.
Yeah. I don't trust this. I don't trust this
We have
fool.
a
I don't
16
trust
from
this fool.
Judge, an 8 from Sylas, a
Yeah.
20
Yeah.
from Ashira.
Sure, I'll do it. Why not?
I don't trust him.
A 5
Oh,
from
don't do that
Mirabelle, a
good.
17 from Diego. Are we
Elirr
having
is Elirr is busy marveling at
Elirr is busy,
the
and
teleportation
Zell?
story.
He's watching the dance.
Zell, you're watching the dance.
Zell's bad at insight. Zell's
Okay.
yeah.
Zell doesn't care.
Zell's not good at reading people. We know this.
Perfect. Yeah, as you see that Ollivander, I would say that Mirabelle and Sylas, you're not sure. You can't catch it. He looks a little bit maybe uncertain with this news. Judge and Diego with the 16 and the 17, you both, or respectively, you both can see there's a look of almost like, instead of confusion, more like like a nod of confirmation, almost like there was a hunch and he's had it approved. Like he's like, they're in cahoots. Good to hear it finally. Ashira with a 20. With a 20, you can see he probably knew this already, but now he's certain. It looks as though he's with a 20. He looks as though he knew this. That's what you get. Like he sort of knew this was the case. Well,
Okay.
we must inform the council. The Stone Council of Stonehaven. I can grant you an audience. My mother sits on the council herself. Perhaps when we get to Stonehaven, if you would like to. I'm not sure if I can be of any assistance, but I can at least grant you an audience with them. They are quite busy, as I'm sure you can imagine, but they'll make time for us, for my voice.
The Ladies of Love or the Council?
You see, he sort of looks to you, puzzled.
Why would the Ladies of Love have any interest in us?
Well, the council will speak to you. The Ladies of Love, they are an interesting bunch. My mother sits as one of them. They're sort of like a noble wife and political standing within the city.
And
I'm
ladies
sure-
who love the perfume gilded resolve number 7.
You're familiar. Well, perhaps you've met them already. You are rather interesting. I can definitely get you an audience with them if you would like that as well, but I do think the most urgent is to inform the council of this corruption that we're now sure is the case. But what was your name again, if you don't mind me asking?
I look towards probably both Diego and Ashira and be like, maybe Sylas too. Just look around the room. Like, Ember.
Ember. Interesting. Well, I don't believe we've met. No, Ember doesn't ring any bells. Well, okay. Well, I can grant you an audience with them, he looks you up and down. Perhaps. Are you looking to apply? Well, I'm sure we can discuss it once we arrive. Let's focus on the
How about
task at
we?
hand.
Yes. How about we get out of the city first, and then you
As-
can waffle about whatever.
You can see Danvir this whole time has been like shuffling, doing like crisscross everything. She's still dancing, and Lava Mantle's just there chuckling next to you. Right.
The guards.
Yeah.
The guards that are holding on to Ollivander's crate of
Belongings.
like alcohol, did you say?
It looks like
To
basically
alcohol?
trinkets, things that he's purchased, maybe some nice wines, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Are they distracted by her dancing?
They
and,
are
like,
watching. They're watching.
conversation?
Like they're like holding the crates and like looking around them to watch her, wondering what's happening. Holding what looks to be quite heavy crates of items.
Okay. If there is a bottle of wine that looks nice on top somewhere, easy to grab, I would like to try and get this in the distractions that are happening and pocketed.
I would say that because
and
they're
if you want to know-
distracted, you'd have disadvantage with this. Advantage with this.
Yeah, and as I walk up to them as well, I will just have my tail at the ready to tap on the opposite shoulder should I need it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so you sneak up next to them. I imagine they're watching along. And with a sleight of hand, you reach over with with advantage. With a 24 and a 26, you definitely manage to sneak a bottle off the top, as you have now gained for yourself what is a fire brew wine, which is something that's basically brewed here in the volcano. It's quite a nice wine. It is a red. You're not sure how it works, but it has, I will tell you that when you drink it, is basically like a sort of, you feel like you can almost breathe fire afterwards. It's a very warming effect.
Before I put it under my cloak, I make sure to make eye contact with Mirabelle and just wink at her, and it disappears.
Perfect.
I would do like the.
As
Before
yes.
Before we step through, Zell will disguise self, calling on the Eldritch Invocation, Mask of Many Faces, and he will just become the most nondescript person. You couldn't really put a race on him. He might be human, he might be half elf, might even be elf, can't really tell. He's got kind of hair covering bits, the face. Could be anyone, really, just the most nondescript person you've ever seen.
Perfect. Do you have like your hood up and everything as well? Just like completely.
He doesn't even need to, because he looks. That would almost draw more attention.
Okay,
it is
perfect.
You would never look twice at this
Unassuming.
guy-looking guy.
Perfect. Yeah.
Most unassuming guy you've ever seen.
As you do this, Danvir is still there, and he goes, "All right." The king sort of looks at her. All right, let's. As much as I'm enjoying this, and I'm going to be enjoying this after you leave, Diego. Thank you for the suggestion. I think it's about time we get sorted. So Danvir, stop dancing for a moment. As you see, she sort of bolt right stops. Oh, yes, my king. How can I be of a service to you? As he says, open up the teleporter, create the portal safely to get these gentlemen and gentle ladies to Stonehaven, please. As you would for those close to you. As he then turns to you all, nods and winks at you, Diego, and then you see that she goes over to the center and begins to sort of cast something. You see that she takes out what looks to be a seal from her wrist behind her manacle, as she takes out what looks to be a seal and places it straight onto the center of the ring. As it lights up, the rune begins to glow, and she steps back to the area where you are in this sort of corridor with the stairs just behind you. The stone platform begins to whir and bits start to move. The stone starts to shift, as you then see that she looks to it, and you just hear her say, Stonehaven, as a portal opens almost from nothing, just above the teleporter, and you see this large arcane ring begins to shift around. And what you immediately see, Diego and Mirabelle, the two of you looking through, you can see Stonehaven on the other side. You recognize the cobbled stones of what looks to be the Stonehaven ground of Pillars District. What do you do?
Well, I don't think this will open too long, so, King, as always, it has been a pleasure for you to meet us. And lastly, you have, I'd say, about 7 hours and 40 minutes of whatever you would like to do with Danvir. So get as much information out of her as you can, and use her magical expertise to assist you however you can.
Perfect.
As always, Diego Costello, or Diego the Lucky. And I just walk through.
gentlemen.
Best of luck to you on your travels, and thank you for your help once again in restoring my kingdom to its former glory. I trust that in time I will be worthy of this crown. As he sends you all through, and you all walk through. Ollivander follows
Judge,
behind you. Yes.
Judge will go in last, and as everyone else goes through, I'll just look to the king and say, "Give word to Myrtle. That it was a pleasure meeting her. Also, if you may, I need you to have Danvir send a message for me.
A message?
If you can have her say a message.
I'm
Yes.
sure she's capable. To who?
Just some information we found out in the vault, and I think this would be perfect for a certain person to hear. Just have her send a message to whatever Talon member she knows, to give word to the Lich that his son's alive, and that he's looking to send him to hell where he belongs, and judgment awaits for his crimes. Talk soon, and I'll walk through.
As you walk through, you can see he's a little bit puzzled, but he looks to Danvir as you turn around and see that he's looking to Danvir. But before that happens, Elirr.
Elirr will turn to the king and there are very few we will be in Dutch. And kind of point to the scroll at his hip.
All right. Yes, of course. I look forward to hearing from you. If I hear anything, I'll let you guys know as well, as he points at your scroll and sort of winks to you. As you step through, as then he looks to Danvir, and as the last thing you see, Judge, is he looks to Danvir, and you can see that the king is saying something to her as you see the portal closes. You guys have stepped through and completely saved travel for a serious amount of time, which I wasn't anticipating initially. By bringing yourself, I will take you, first of all, to... bear with me. I will take you, first of all, to the map of Terra Mora. This is the region of Terra Mora, for those of you who have just traveled here. So Labacrest would be essentially up here on the right, past that stony mountain area. You have skipped over tremendous amounts of land and traveled all the way to the center of Stonehaven City. This is the largest city on the entirety of this continent, possibly in Celestria, the world as a whole. It's definitely up there. I'm not going to talk population figures, but we're talking massive. It is a melting pot of different races, cultures, a whole bunch of trade and mercantile with other sort of regions and districts, as well as across the oceans. This is a absolute, like, behemoth of a city. However, you have managed to skip all of this and have arrived in Stonehaven City. So, for the first time, welcome to Stonehaven City. This is a map which I have created. It is very detailed. There's a lot going on. I will tell you now. The Pillars District is up here near this sort of area, all the way from the Stone Council Hall, all the way to Fortune's Favorite Casino, down to basically the break in the cliffside. It's elevated above the rest of the city. And up here, of course, that everything up on that part is essentially the Pillars District, where you guys find yourself arrive. Diego and Mirabelle, you would both know this to be the Circle of the Five, which is this big area over here. Hopefully you guys can see. I know with the green it's not the most obvious. However, you arrive at the Circle of the Five as you arrive on one of the magical rune teleportation circles. It glows, it hums, it vibrates as you step, as the stone itself is shaking. And as you do so, you see that there are armed guards around the circle itself, as if watching this like a gate. There's immediately a sense of this immediate, almost scrutiny as they look to you and they begin to walk towards you as if to speak to you. These are, you guys who are familiar with Stonehaven would know, These are essentially the Silver Guard or the Sentinel Guard of Stonehaven. They are the Watchers, the Protectors, the City Guard of Stonehaven. However, as you guys step through, behind you, Ollivander steps in as Judge follows him through. He steps forward and he flashes what you see is a brooch with a large gemstone in the center, an opal gemstone. And he flashes it openly as the guards halt in their steps. Ollivander says to them both, "Send word to the council. Lava Crest brings news that cannot wait." The guards don't argue. They turn, they nod, and they begin to hurry towards, away from where you are. You guys have arrived in the city. As you guys stand here on the circle, it's clear. The first thing that hits you, there's a nice breeze. There's the smell of what smells like almost a mixture of mud and grass alongside perfume scents and bakery goods. You're in the middle of an area which has you're almost bombarded with senses of smell, of sights. You see before you, beyond this circle, you can see the street. If you zoom in, you can see the street of the cobbled pavement here ahead of you. You can see the towers around you are buildings that go much higher than those in Sylvanthal. Blockades of large houses made of brickwork and stone that look like they've almost been formed out of the ground itself. Around you, you can see that along the roadside, there's the occasional path next to what are rose bushes, thistles, and rows of rose bushes. This is quite a luxurious location. You see what look to be sorcerers, commoners, noblemen, and women walking through the town city here, and you can see, though it's predominantly humans, there's a lot of Goliath, halflings, dwarves. The only thing you don't see is really sort of Genasi, the obvious Aasimar, and Warforged. But there are also Aarakocra, there's Owlins. It's a whole wealth of races here, all walking and acting amongst the crowd. Ollivander turns to you all. So, we should speak with the Stone Council, as I mentioned. If you will join me, I'm more than happy to rent a cart. And he waves to his butler to wave down a cart for him. Will you join me to the Stone Council Hall? Any objections?
I'm sure the rest of you can handle this. I wasn't around for the last day anyway, so...
Where are you going?
I don't believe we've met. As he looks to you confused.
He would have seen me. I wasn't hiding myself when I cast
I'm
Disguise
kidding,
Self.
yeah.
He would have seen me cast Disguise Self on myself.
By all means.
I don't think that my presence in the Stone Council, if something is seen through, is a sensible idea.
So
I don't
what,
mind
you're
waiting
just
somewhere.
gonna drink in a tavern all day?
So where are you
Sounds
going?
like a plan.
Oh, okay.
I look for... you know what? I'll say the name of a tavern that's down in the kind of cheaper districts, and I say that I'll wait for you guys there.
Oh, you could always go to... No, it's probably best you don't.
Diego, what's your favorite tavern here? I mean, we're rich now.
Wait, what did you just say?
What's your favorite tavern?
Well, I have bias to some taverns. To be honest, there are some pretty good ones all around. I don't drink too much in the Pillars district, though. It was too pricey.
But we're rich now.
True. We should definitely have a drink at Fortune's favor.
Oh, I agree. See if we can
How
make
long-
our future wealth
And
even
besides, if you like perform in this, I don't know, higher up districts, wouldn't you like earn more money? Get more tips?
So the thing is, there is an academy here that trains bards. There's too many bards in this city. Uh, busking on a street really doesn't work.
But you're Diego, the lucky. Did you not?
Oh,
Is Ollivander next to us? Is he listening into everything, or are
He
we
looks
kind of
like
having
he's
a moment?
waiting. I would say that this is with you guys as a whole,
Yeah.
discussing what you're gonna do.
Okay. Okay.
Diego,
As long as he's not with us, I will then look to Mirabelle and say, I mean, do you even want to go? I mean, his mother, who's a part of the lady, is in the council. If she sees you, is she gonna recognize you at all? Is she gonna remember who you are?
likely, yes, but I have nothing to be ashamed
Okay.
of anymore now, do I?
Right.
Also,
Diego, if someone who knows you is in the council, are you gonna be okay?
oh, don't be silly. Do you know how many humans are in this city? God, it's like I'm like a raindrop in a rain cloud. You know?
I just want to
fine.
give y'all a chance. If there is something that we should probably know beforehand before stepping into a council,
Look.
and then a lot of your guys' dirty laundry is just kind of tossed out to all of us here, maybe we should have an understanding.
The people that might want to find me are the coalition. The coalition will not be in the council hall.
This is what I
The
was going
big
to
city-
ask.
Yeah.
Do you think there could be anyone from the coalition sitting in the council at all? Because if they are, they
No.
could be corrupted.
Insight
Oh,
check.
not at all.
You,
I want an insight of.
you worked with them, so you would
Yeah.
know, right?
I worked in the coalition, not with the council.
I know, but perhaps would you know if someone from the coalition would sit in with the council?
It's a 12
I'm
inside.
gonna say real quick, Diego, if there's any place you're uncomfortable visiting, it's okay. Just tell us.
Oh no, the coalition building. That is definitely the place I do not want to go. Everywhere else is fine. Look, they're not going to know it's me. Look, if you were searching for someone, the place that they would be wouldn't be the place where the headquarters is at, you know? We'll be fine.
I get that.
They would never
I'm
expect me to be here.
My worry
Oh,
is they're
good.
gonna recognize who you are.
No, I just tell them I'm Fabio.
Oh, jeez.
Fabio.
Here we go. All right, you know
Yes.
what? Hey, Diego, I have no reason not to trust you. I trust you. I just don't want us getting into trouble when we just got here.
Your insight check would be that Diego hasn't got a fucking clue.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah. Now, listen, Diego, I have no reason not to trust you. You went out of your way. You had my back in the vault there. I trust you completely. But I need you to just at least assure us that nothing wrong can go happen in the and if something can, you need to let us know what it is beforehand.
Okay? I assure you that to my knowledge, nothing can go wrong.
Okay, how long has it been since you've been in the city?
Year and a half?
Right, and how often do they get new people on the council?
I don't bloody know. I never worked there.
Right. Okay. You know what, Diego? I trust you. If something happens, I got your back. Don't worry about it, okay?
We'll be fine. If someone comes up to me and they go, "Hey, you're Diego the Lucky. We're trying to find you," I'll go, "I suggest you don't remember this conversation and go home."
How many of those do you have?
I'm lucky enough. I'll be fine.
All right.
I have
Diego,
enough. I have enough.
Does anyone not want to go to the council chambers and go with Zell?
Well, Zel, do you want to be by yourself? I mean, I think personally I'm not really keen on like these politics, and I'm also not really helpful. But
It's
you wanna,
it's
like-
up to you. I'm gonna go to the Skull and Lock Tavern, which is I'm making up on the spot near the Stonehaven graveyard. It's somewhere I used to frequent quite a lot.
well,
Somewhere
do you
I
reckon
might
that,
actually be able to drop this visage for a bit.
I walk
Is-
up to Yuzel and just whisper, "The marble halls. If you ask for Sophia, you might be okay."
Okay. I'll try this spot first, and if there's anything wrong, then I'll bear
Name
in
drop
mind.
me.
Will do.
Do you
Alright,
think
so-
it is a good time to split up again? I appreciate that you are tired from whatever you were doing in your stone, but
I don't think it's a great idea for me to be in front of the council. It could be as simple as them seeing, if they want to look through this disguise, they could see through it. If suddenly Zelentrus Drakian is walking the streets of this city again, that will get eyes on us that just we don't need.
I agree with that. That makes sense.
Well, sure.
Do we
then,
have a way to?
you stay out
do
of
we have a-
sight, and then we'll do the
Yeah.
talking.
I trust you guys.
Do we have a way to contact you in case trouble does happen? I mean, what if something
if you
happens?
stay
and-
within 1 mile of me, I can contact you. Or
why
anyone,
not.
basically,
Or
in this
we get
group.
fucked.
How many miles away would a round Stonehaven graveyard be to them? Would that be within a mile? Can't be that big, can it?
Stone City Hall.
Within a mile of to where you want to
Like
go.
Council Hall? Yeah,
It's
that's like
quite
a
a
mile,
distance
isn't it?
because you would have to go up sort of north or south to get off this area. There's no way down otherwise. It's sort of like a massive cliff overhang that looks down on the rest of the city. This area over here. So it's quite a distance, actually. It would take
If
you
the
probably about an
telepathic-
hour.
If the telepathic link,
Right.
all right, fine. Then I'll chill in some trees outside, I guess, if I can't get to the
You
tavern.
could stand by the
I
fountain
know.
over here.
What does this
Sure.
library
Sure.
do?
Surely there's a cafe up here somewhere. A fancy cafe.
Technically, although you guys can see the map, technically
Yeah,
most
we
of
don't
you
know,
wouldn't
I'm
know
sorry.
what buildings are, technically. I have left places on just so everybody knows sort of thematically. But Elirr, you don't know where the libraries are. However,
I don't know any.
All right.
as you guys are standing there, Ashira, you feel your sending stone begins to sort of ring in your
Oh.
in your pocket as you
Hello.
you hear Stonehaven was never clear. I'm glad you see it. Be cautious, my light. Whatever waits there, you don't face alone. And then it goes dim. And then you hear it opens up. Elirr, and then closes down again. As he used it twice to send just that bit at the end.
Okay. You can do that. That's cool.
Well, he is a keeper of balance, so I imagine he has his ways. But yes. What do you guys do?
Right. Well, I can establish a telepathic link with 2 people for a couple hours. 1, maybe 4. So Zel, obviously, unless you want me to stay with you, then I can have 2 links with 2 other people.
You guys go ahead. I don't mind.
How about
leaving
this?
a
How about
bit
this?
of time on my own.
Ashira, how about you make a link with Zell and then one with Diego? And if Diego notices someone who might recognize him, he can let you know, and that's our thing to bail. Like, get the hell out of there. Fair? Is everyone okay with
Remember,
that?
I can go invisible. Look, worst comes to
We
worst,
know,
I'll be
we're-
fine.
Yes, but
Don't
this
worry
is
about
just in
it.
case. This is a safety measure.
Why do we need to bail when we see someone we recognize?
No, in case they recognize me, but we'll be fine. Look,
Yes.
you guys just keep going. If I bounce out and vanish, I'll be okay.
Right. Cool.
I established a
will-
link with the 2 of them for 4 hours from now.
Very nice. Yeah, as you now have this link, I would say at this moment you see that Ollivander's sort of packing in these 2 guys into the carriage, putting boxes into it. It looks like he's called the second one over as well for some of you to get into, as there's slightly smaller carts and carriages here. Well, if you're joining, please, let's make our way to the Stone Council.
All right.
You
I
guys
immediately hop on.
amazing. As you
Hop in.
guys hop in, so is it just Zelentrus who's not going to go the whole way?
Zell's happy to be on his own for a bit.
Okay, perfect.
So Zell will stay by the fountain, and I'll Mask of Many Faces means I can do it at will, no spell slot. I'll keep my disguise self up for the day.
Okay, perfect.
Elirr will get in the same cart as, or like next to Zell, and just kind of still talk to him about it, like if he wants to really be by himself. But
He's not on the card.
Zell's
if
not
he
coming,
just
though,
wants
right?
to be there.
He's not
Zell
coming
is
on the
Zell's not
card.
He's not
Zell-
going the
Zell-
whole way. He's just going up to the fountain where you guys.
Yeah.
Basically, the carts are.
Zell
passing it.
will just walk up to the fountain.
Okay,
We will
perfect.
walk.
Perfect. I would say that the rest of you all get into the carts. You head on up to the Stone Council. As you arrive, you notice that this giant building with what looks like you were able to see it the moment you hit the road. This tall, elaborate stonework building that looks like the stone has been magically formed, as if each part of it and piece of it expands in a different way. You can see that it's got what looks to be growing sort of vines around it. It glows and gleams almost like a gemstone in the sun as you walk towards it, and you see as you arrive by the fountain that the rest of the way you walk up this hill towards the front gate. It's lined with guard posts and guards the whole way along, as Ollivander sort of nods to each of them knowingly, and they nod back as he lets them through. As you arrive, I will share with you a handout first of all. There is a map point, so you can see map pins, right? Yes, Diego.
I was going to say, the only thing that I think Diego would do is when he sees the Luminous Lyre Academy, he takes like a big breath of air in and then just lets out a sigh.
Sorry, you reminded me. As you guys pass the Luminous Lyre Academy and what is described as the Heartstone Library, can I please have a perception check, please, from those of you in the carts? 23, 22, a 7, a 5, 11, and 6. So, those of you who rolled above a 15, which was the DC, which is Diego and Judge. Diego... Ooh, okay, Diego, you definitely noticed the Luminous Lyre and you sigh, but as you look the other way, you notice, and Judge, you also would see, there's a sign that says on the street, just over here, and there's a large crowd forming in this sort of vicinity. It just says book signing today. Meet the authors. But as you
Do I
pass,
see the name?
I would say you see it says a bunch of different names, and in the passing you probably wouldn't have caught it. With a 23 and a 22, Shana of Heaven's Gate is listed.
Mirabelle, look! Shana's signing.
We have to go there after this. We absolutely have to. Talon can
now?
Do you want to go? You can jump off. You can go.
Are you hopping off? You're coming with.
Yeah, you can go.
Let's
I
go
think
in.
about
Stop the cat. No, stop the cat. Wait here 10 minutes. Come on, Mirabelle.
Wait,
Yes.
that's a long line. There's a crowd there. We're gonna be waiting for an hour if we.
No, we're not waiting. We're going straight in. We gotta go to the toilet. Emergency.
We should
Come on, Mirabelle.
make our way to
How
the
about?
council. Oh, by all means, if it's urgent.
This
you
is
guys
what
could
important.
Catch up.
This is very important.
By all means.
Are we close
Driver,
to
stop
the,
the
can we
cars.
see the council from here?
You can see the council hall. It's huge. It's impossible not to see. You're probably about 250 feet from it. You're not far. Like, it's
Oh,
up the hill.
We could just walk there then.
You could walk the rest of the way, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys want to go, we'll have someone meet with you guys at the gate. We can get in there and butter them up for you guys.
I also want to go to the council.
Mirabelle, go get your
We'll
book
get
signed.
in.
Don't
Go-
worry.
go.
No, Yes, we'll just go ahead. You guys go get your book signed, and you guys will meet us there. All right, don't worry about it.
Who gets off the cart?
Yeah, I'll get off the cart.
Mirabelle? Anybody else?
Let us. Diego gets off the car.
Diego gets off the cart as well.
I'll get off because I said I was. Yeah,
What
I'll
is
see if I can get us to the front of the line.
Okay, Ashira.
just
So we have Mirabelle, Diego, and Ashira.
I
three
read
of
one
you.
of the books. What do you mean?
Yeah, Silas has
Oh,
no
okay.
idea what this fuss is all
Yeah.
about. So
I shout back at
no.
Judge. The pictures look like me. I need to find out who it is. It's like I'm running off.
Yeah. Okay.
What the hell
Perfect. So the
is
three of you
going
hop
on?
off, and we'll come back to you as you've got a little bit of walking to do. I would say that you begin to walk up, and you see there's a line. At first glance, Ashira, there is quite a lot of people. There's a lot of talk going on in the crowd. It doesn't look like there's much leeway, as it's quite orderly. There's quite a lot of people here, big, small, etc. How do you try and make your way to the front? What is it that you do?
Okay, I have an idea that's not very PG and it's a little bit gross, but
Okay, what is it that you do?
I'm gonna have an arm around Diego and an arm around Mirabelle, so as if they're like helping me in, and I look a little bit faint as Diego hears in his head with the telepathic link, tell them that I'm on my period and I'm having a really bad time and I need to go to the toilet right now because I need to change things down there.
And
But
I
I'm
say
not
out
dealing
loud,
well with blood.
No, I'm not doing that.
And as you say
Okay,
that,
then I whisper it to Mirabelle.
as you say this out loud, and Mirabelle, you hear this, you guys immediately recognize the queue that you're standing next to, as Ashira's got an arm around both of you. They're all looking at you, and as whispers amongst them, they're turning to face you.
I've got a plan.
Is this
I've got a plan.
implication?
I've got a
Is
plan.
this implication only?
Wait. What is the name of the man in the books?
Carlos.
Okay. Prestidigitation, my eyes brown.
Okay. Yeah.
And I strut to the front of the line.
You start
Pleasure.
You start walking past, and you see predominantly women in this book. The occasional male Goliath and halfling and human looking at you in sort of, jaw drop. It's Carlos.
I walk with swagger.
As all of you are following, and Ashira and Mirabelle, you follow closely behind him as Diego walks past most of the crowd. Do you do anything else? As it's quite a distance.
I just walk past and I give a wink to like a group of women. Yeah, that and as I'm swooning, like I just like flex my arm a little bit and I just start walking through and I pretend to take on the persona of Carlos. And yeah, I just, if anyone tries to stop me, I just sort of like look at them and let them register who I am, because they're all here for the same books, so they're gonna know it's me.
They're all just like unknowing, but also with the confidence that you walk through. Can I have a performance check from you, please?
Do I get advantage?
Yeah, you know what? I'll let you have advantage.
Look like him, right?
Yeah, prestidigitation definitely gives you advantage.
I think also
Performance, yes.
realizing what Diego's doing and sort of trying to go with what he's doing. Anytime one of the girls tries to maybe reach out or get in between, be like, we'll do autographs later, okay? He's got to get to the front now.
They sort of nod to, yeah, anything for Carlos. As you see, the
27 total.
The 27, yeah. You walk through and nobody gives you any hassle. Most of which it's immediate. There's one or two who glare occasionally at you walking past the queue, but with the confidence that you're walking through, nobody questions it. You clearly belong in the library, like where you're heading. I'll say that whilst you're walking up, it's quite a long queue.
Do I
And
recognize anyone
there's a
in the
lot
queue?
there's a lot of women here who would have attended a lot of these sort of events or family gatherings that you would recognize. In
Yeah,
terms
I
of
recognize my fandom.
in terms of, yeah, there's a lot of people wearing, you would also pick up the occasional scent and dresses and all sorts that you would have seen and potentially have been part of that kind of lifestyle. There looks to be, there's immediately a dress that one of the elven girls is wearing that you recognize as being a specific designer that you recognize from when you were purchasing dresses here. Like, it's very much the illustrious higher society who are here in this queue. In terms of specifically named NPCs, nobody sticks out, at least not that you're familiar with on first glance. However, as you guys are walking to the front of the queue, we're going to go back to the other group. As Sylas, Judge, and Elirr, the three of you arrive with Ollivander at the front gates of the Stone Council Hall. As a large Goliath gentleman, fully clad in what looks to be silver steel armor, comes over to all of you and says, "Welcome to the Stone Council Hall. Can I ask your purpose of business today, please?" As he talks to you all, you see Ollivander immediately looks. "Well, we're here to speak with the Stone Council. My mother, I have urgent news. We have urgent news from Lava Crest, if you wouldn't mind letting us through," as he sort of looks to Ollivander, who holds out, again, this opal stone brooch. "By all means, please make your way inside. We'll have the carts ready for you on your exit," as he ushers them elsewhere. The three of you step off. Elirr, Sylas, Judge. There's a large stone door. It's intricately designed with what looks to be vines carved out of stone. The masonry here is unparalleled. It is so perfectly intricately designed in multiple different types of stone. You see what looks to be obsidian, marble. You see volcanic rock, and also this sort of almost looks dusted with a glittery stone of some sort. It's pristine. And as the doors open, these tall, large doors, the Goliaths, the only ones able to reach the doors and open them up. You see that they open, and through the inside, you can see light from all around streaming through what looks to be almost like coming through stained glass, coming straight onto the floor here, which again is pristine marble the whole way through. Ollivander turns to you all. "If those of you would like, I can lead us to the Stone Council chambers. I advise you don't touch anything, and ideally, just keep to yourselves. I will do the same. This is a very proper establishment, even for me."
Don't
What do you
worry,
take
the
us
people
for? Like,
usually
we're
go.
not rogues.
Yeah, only there's a few people in our group who would go out of their way to touch things. We're not those. We're good. We're good.
It takes a long time to gain an audience with the Stone Council.
Right.
I have some special permissions, family emergencies and the like. However, I would advise that we would all at least keep on our best behavior. If you will, follow me.
Right.
As he turns and
course.
leads you guys through. As you step on through and you hear his boots for the first time. As they hit the stone, it clicks the whole way along. Judge, you can't help but hear the clunk of your metal soles on the ground. Sylas, although it's stone, it's so natural. Although it's so beautiful, the whole area that you're standing in feels as though it's nature itself. It doesn't feel man-made. It doesn't feel artificial. It feels as though it's almost always been here. It's harmonious. Elirr, you can't help but feel the moment you step through the door, there's an element of magical energy that just radiates off this place, as if it's a beacon of magic itself. I would say, as you guys follow Ollivander, he leads you along a long stone chamber to the end and opens up the doors. On the inside, you see 10 very high chairs around what looks to be a stone platform. On each of the chairs, which are almost suspended around this table, there appears to be a different character, a very unique looking individual. At first glance, you can tell that these are very powerful individuals. Each one of them has a very unique look to them. The very first one you would see as you step in is right in the center. There is a dwarven man who is he's got a long braided gray beard and piercing blue eyes. His skin is weathered from what looks like almost working with stone his entire life. His hands are thick and calloused, and you can see them even from a distance. He's got what looks like almost calluses on the outside of his knuckles, as if he's been fighting with the elements themselves. You would see that as you step in, he wears, and he's the only one wearing one, what looks to be a small golden ringlet around the top of his head. As this man looks to you, and Ollivander whispers, "That's the Stone Chancellor, the High Commander of the Stone Council. Do not offend him." As he walks in, you would see next to him on the chair to his left is a high elven lady wearing what looks to be she's a graceful and elegant high elven lady wearing, I suppose, green robes that match her emerald eyes and blonde elven hair. She's very much a standard picturesque version of what you'd expect and anticipate an elf to look like, especially from Sylvanthal, and very similar to what you would have seen on the streets there. This, as Ollivander looks to you, this is Lady Susanera Sunspire. She is the Chancellor of Culture and Education. And you can see they're all in conversation with each other. Ollivander is almost introducing them at a distance before letting you all stand up. And I will share tokens of these so you can see what they look like as well. You can also see that there is a large Minotaur gentleman in fully clad plate armor. That is Garrick Stonehorn. He is the commander of the Sentinel Guard, the City Watch here in Stonehaven. Next to him, you see the Fire Genasi lady, Aurelia Emberwing. She is, of course, the Master of Trade and Commerce here in Stonehaven. Next to her, and he goes around naming each of these individuals. I will give you the full list and breakdown post-session so you guys can see, as well as all of the tokens. And I'll include them at the end of the video so that other people can see them as well. However, as time passes by, you then see one of them looks over to you as a red-haired elven lady in a purple robe looks to you all, and she notices Ollivander, and she sort of puts her hand up to stop the conversation. Sorry, Ollivander, what brings you to the Stone Council chambers? What is the meaning of this intrusion? As he sort of bows his head knowingly towards, you would see, the Stone Chancellor. He bows as he looks towards you and all three of you. What do you do? Do you bow? Or do you follow Ollivander? Or do you stand? I want to know
I
in this
bow.
moment.
I
You
give
bow?
like a respectful bow. Yes, bow to them.
Sylas and Elirr?
Silas would do an official bow as he is told by his superiors at the circle.
You see that there's a furbolg in the corner who sort of nods to you, and almost like in respect of you doing this, there's a furbolg lady standing up there as well, and Elirr.
Elirr hesitates and looks at the other two and sees how they bow and kind of like stands with one wing folded or like arm folded behind his back and the other in front of himself and just kind of bows. I mean, he put on his fine clothes this morning. So he's
Perfect. I would say that you guys all bow politely, and Ollivander steps into the room, ushering you guys in as you see the guards step aside to let you through onto what is a large stone platform, basically in the center of everyone else here who's all around you. Mother, Lady Ilara Feathercast, I bring news from Lavacrest, our allies in the west, or in the east. My apologies. The news I bring you is of much importance. Perhaps it would be best coming from these three, as they are part of a group who helped to uncover what we believe is corruption that may spread to Stonehaven itself. If you wouldn't mind, as he opens the floor to you three.
Right.
I'll take a glance at the other two.
Yeah, I'll start. Just to take a lead to see where it leads. I will step forward and again I take a bow and I will introduce myself. I'm so humble for your unexpected audience. My name is Sylas. I am an envoy from the Circle of Whispers in Verdantara, Druid Circle, on a quest, as we'll say, to investigate something. And we were asked to, report you something that happened during our stay in Lavacrest. Like King Edrin Lavamanto has sent for us to tell you about what happened and the illegal dealings between Stonehaven and Lavacrest.
Did you say King Lavamantle? What of
Yes.
Emberforge? The boy king
Well,
now has succeeded the throne? Is that news?
I glance over to Judge and to Elirr
Yeah,
to make
yes,
sure. Should we tell this or?
I'll step forward, and again I'll give another bow. Sir, it's an honor to meet you. Honor to meet every single one of you. Thank you for letting us be in your presence. I'm Judge. I'm a Warforged member of this group. We had discovered that Emberforge was conducting illegal trade and business on behalf of Lavacrest with some of the people here in Stonehaven. Emberforge was not the rightful king. It was Lavamantle who was put in prison, and and we helped him retake his throne, and we believe Lavacrest, Emberforge, was having dealings with the group known as Talon, some members of the Coalition, and the black market, and in legal dealings.
You hear
of trade.
As you mentioned Talon, you see that there's a couple murmurs between the council members, not necessarily the ones you're speaking to. It looks like some of the others in the room are murmuring to one another. There's the look of concern on some of their faces.
Which members of the council do not seem to react at all, or are trying to hide a reaction?
Trying to hide, I don't think. I mean, you can definitely roll an insight for the room if you like. There are 10 of them, so it would be at disadvantage.
Same.
And I will use
16 with disadvantage is decent from Elirr. An 18 from
18. 18.
Wait.
Is that
1 sec?
Let me just double check.
No, I'm trying to save the
Yeah, it's the same roll.
Did you
So
get guidance?
investigation and insight's the same. Perfect.
It was inside, right?
Insight, yes, and it would be at disadvantage. So if you roll it twice, we'll take the lowest roll.
That's a 9.
A 9. Okay. Yes. So Sylas, you can't immediately tell, but you can see that there's some concern on the faces of those you're immediately talking to. The Stone Chancellor appears focused on the words that you're saying. You can see that he's focused on what Judge is saying. Lady Alara Feathercast, who was Ollivander's mother, she looks to be focused on what you're saying and sort of nods along, looking at Ollivander almost to confirm what's being said. That's the sort of vibe that she has. Like, she's looking to Ollivander as like the truth conduit here. In the room, with a 16, I would say 16 and an 18, Elirr and Judge, you can see there's concern on the faces of Elder Thalia Mossroot, Thalia, sorry, Thalia Mossroot, and that is a Furbolg lady. She looks concerned. You can see that there is a half-elven man who Ollivander introduced as Varys Shadowstep, Varis Shadowstep, who he described as the head of intelligence and spymaster. You can see there is what looks to be a great deal of concern, and I'd say, Elirr, you spot this immediately because there is an Aarakocra called Zara Wind Whisper, who is the envoy of external relations, and she looks incredibly concerned at this. But as you guys explain that you're here and you mention that there is a ongoing issue, or you've uncovered that Talon are involved in some way, you hear the occasional murmur. It's not panic, it's just concern. However, one counselor says, you hear one of the counselors, it's the Minotaur gentleman, the Sentinel Guard, the commander of the Sentinel Guard. He says, our allies in Shroudhaven reported disturbances. They are investigating as well as we speak. Another adds, perhaps we should learn more about our internal issues. And you see that this is a large Goliath gentleman who is what looks to be wearing, he looks almost like a priest. He's wearing robes, and he was described as the high priest here in the council. Please, do go on. Explain.
Well, we dealt with Emberforge to help King Lavamantle reclaim his throne.
I see.
And it seemed what we discovered was Emberforge was in dealings with some of the other members of Lava Crest's council with the members of Talon. And he revealed to us that there were some dealings with the Coalition and the black market here in the city. So we came on behalf of Lava Crest and not only deliver the news, but if we can be of any assistance in finding and rooting out the problems here as well.
You mentioned the Coalition.
Yes.
You see that Granite Fist, the Stone Chancellor, looks to his side, almost like you see as he turns, his mustache of his part of his beard, the top lip of his beard, almost sort of needs to settle after him as he looks to the side. The Coalition remains trustworthy, no? We will not fracture our alliances based on a rumor. As you see, conversation goes on between some of the others. Do you have proof of this?
Well, we found documentation to confirm that Lava Crest was indeed having dealings, though we gave that to the leadership of Lava Crest.
Was there a name within the Coalition?
Look through my notes.
Well,
I don't believe it was.
I'm, if I may, I'm Elirr, the scribe of the very few. We were told it was several more high-ranking members within coalition, but they didn't give up name, and also not just in Stonehaven, but these dealings of their widespread misuse of power of the council in Lava Crest. And yeah,
You see that he
Dave.
looks across the room to others, including the head of intelligence, the spy master, who sort of looks to him, the half-elven man. I am aware of disturbances for the coalition within Shroudhaven, however, not within our borders. Our allies
if-
there are investigating, however, the coalition remains trustworthy. They're our longest standing ally. We rely on them within the city.
If I
we
may
try
add
that
some
again?
context, we did receive word from someone with a Stonehaven accent. He sounded like an adult male, very educated gentleman. Sent a
Elven.
message to Dorian, asking about something that had been discovered, and they want a report on it. If that helps narrow or helps
A
you.
very academic sounding elven man.
So you come here describing the situation that the boy king is now the true king, having overthrown after being imprisoned in Lava Crest. That's all good and well. What happens in their borders is their business. However, to come with unfounded claims and a lack of evidence and call out our allies, Elara, what gave you the right to speak or bring this to our attention? As she looks to Ollivander. Ollivander, I trust that these claims are founded and you do have evidence of the same. As he looks sheepishly, there were documents, Mother, of evidence of coalition involvement in trades, dealing with Emberforge, who we now know belongs or was in cahoots, at the very least, with Talon. We are all aware that Talon are the enemy here, no? As he looks to the council, and you see that Granite Fist basically puts his hand on the table quite loudly, and you can see it echoes through the chamber as he does so. Without proper claims, without proper foundations of your claims, these are but rumors on our allies. If you can bring us evidence into the same, then by all means, we'll hear you out. Until
you know
that
what
point,
Talon-
excuse me, sir, I am talking here. This is my chamber. As you can see that the Goliath gentleman behind you, they shake slightly, as you can feel that they turn as if to walk towards you. And he says to you, I appreciate you bringing the news from Lava Crest. Our allies in the west and King Lavamantle, I'm sure he will do his family line honor on the throne. We are investigating reports of Talon. We are aware of their dealings within not just the lower parts of the city, but beyond our borders as well. As mentioned, we are aware of reported disturbances within Shroudhaven, but until this point, until there is proof, we cannot investigate our allies. Elara then interrupts. If Talon threatens balance, we must act carefully, not loudly.
They already got 2 stones.
You see as you
Your
say
keeper of
this,
balance stones.
you see as you say this, they look to each other. Multiple of them look to each other, but Elara and the Chancellor, the Stone Chancellor, lock eyes. We must inform Aethria. Send word for Master Jinglethorn of the Aetherial Spire. Alert the Keepers. We must prevent another Umbrasia incident. Ollivander nods. I would advise that you enjoy your time in the city. If you do find any evidence and can back up your claims regarding the Coalition, by all means, we will be more than happy to receive that information. At this point, we must remain allies and keep those closest to us. Informing the Keeper of the Balance, you mentioned they have 2 stones of the Keepers.
Indeed.
You
Indeed, they do.
see-
Well,
You see that they look at each other. If corruption exists, we need proof. If Talon moved through Stonehaven, if they're here, there will be proof. There will be evidence that the Coalition are involved. However, we will not send armies. We will not send warriors. We will not cause friction with our largest allies in our closest faction guilds. Ollivander, please, could you see yourself out? As he nods.
excuse me if I may, sir. You speak of my master, and he is aware of the dangers. Master
Jinglethorn?
Jinglethorn, that is.
Your Master Jinglethorn's... Are you one of his students?
I am his, student, his closest scribe, and he sent me out to investigate things.
That explains the
disturbing.
lack of decorum on all of you, to be honest. Jinglethorn was always a bit, well, eccentric. If you will, please, goodbye, as he waves all of you out, and you see that the Goliaths behind you start walking towards you. Perhaps we should hear out the... Sorry. As you see that one of the counselors goes to speak and then holds his tongue. The council have bid you adieu, as the stone Goliaths, the large Goliath gentlemen with very grey stone-like skin, stand next to you, towering even yourself, Judge, as they sort of point to the door and stand between you and the council. Sorry, if you will, please, as they usher you out. Does anyone say anything or do anything, as Ollivander also sort of ushers you to follow him?
Well, if you want, I can give you a direct message from Jinglethorn or the King Lavamantle himself.
The council have closed off ears. They are basically like, they've gone back to whatever it was that they were discussing. And the Goliaths are sort of, one of them, as you're trying to protest this, sort of puts his hand close to you, not on you, but close to you to sort of try and usher you guys out. As I would say that you notice that as you say this, Elirr, that the other Aarakocra sees you saying this. She locks eyes with you, and she sort of, there's an expression that's shared that's knowing, like she understands or hears what you're saying, but she's also focused on the conversation that's happening. As you guys step out, Ollivander looks to you both, or to the 3 of you, and says, there must be records. We need to prove this. Somebody must have records. The Coalition here, they must exist. And if they don't have evidence already, surely somebody's buried them. If we can get evidence, perhaps I can gain us an audience with the council once again. Until that time, I think we've overstayed our welcome.
Before we leave and turn around, Sylas, maybe a bit angry because he expected more from this, like bureaucratic snobs.
Yeah, you say that as you turn. Elirr, sorry?
Ollivander, where will we find you? And if you don't mind me asking, the Lady Wind Whisper, is
Yes.
there ways to be in touch? I feel that maybe she would be able to help us.
Zara Windwhisper is Lady Zara Windwhisper is the envoy of external relations. She's responsible for maintaining diplomatic ties with other cities and regions. If anybody would understand the ins and outs of negotiating trade agreements and alliances, it should be her. She's well aware of the intricacies of our relationship with the Coalition, or rather the Stone Council and Stonehaven as a whole. I would imagine if we can get her on our side against the Coalition, whether it be through your master Jinglethorn, was it, or otherwise, she would be a very valuable ally against the Coalition, or at least that part of it. Perhaps we can convince those who are within the Coalition and do good, as I'm sure there are many. Perhaps this is just a faction within them, a sub-faction, a subgroup. We would need more evidence. My advice is that we keep our noses clean here in the city and try to investigate, maybe speak to the Coalition. I don't know if that's too brazen, but their garrison and the guild halls are just there. Surely they would have some information somewhere.
Why, if I may ask, why is Stonehaven not wanting to prepare for the worst case possible with Talon? Why are they only... They're not going to prepare anything, an army, nothing, to deal with a threat that literally is trying to take stones powerful enough to cause rifts.
Well,
are we just not care about this? Like, is this not a...
They mention the stones of the Keepers of Balance, and to be honest, often, at least as far as I'm aware, those are merely a myth. Their true intentions are to protect the city, of course, but for the longest time we relied on the Keepers of Balance to do just that, keep the balance. Perhaps it's old traditional ways of thinking, but I suppose without evidence, I can't really blame them. We're basically asking them to chop their left leg off for what? The word of a foreign country? A foreign citizen, rather? A foreign capital city that isn't even beyond ours? It's asking to change, especially for somebody so new to the throne. It does sound, now that I think of it, a bit far-fetched. If you do need to reach me, I am available. I stay in, well, the upper part of the city, and he sort of gestures to the west, or sorry, the northern district, which is over here, near the Adventurers Guild. I stay in one of the noble houses there, alongside many of the others, noble families. However, you can always reach me by ascending if you have that, or if you do need me, you can always ask for me here at the council chambers. They'll always know where to find me.
Do you have
Thank
any
you.
other allies you can recommend?
Allies?
Or is your
well,
mother potentially willing to talk to us in private?
She's the most powerful woman I know, and even I can't get an audience with her without having her call me Ollivander. She barely refers to me as son these days. Did I mention I was adopted?
Right. I get it. Thank you, Ollivander, for the help. We'll
Ollivander, one question, if I may.
Of course.
Maybe we kind of missed this, or I missed this. I'm still not getting over this bureaucratic nonsense. But what would please the council?
What they need, what they will need, what we need to get them on our side. As it sounds, they are preparing to contact the Keepers of Balance to get hold of Master Jinglethorn. What we would need to convince them of this corruption with the Coalition, one of their mainstay allies, is evidence of that corruption. They would need it. They'd need a name. who or what within the coalition, what are they doing and who are they? As I said, there are bound to be records of it. I know a couple of people in the coalition, and well, they don't look too shy towards me, but they tend to be a little bit more difficult, as I'm more of a politician than a, well, mercenary. Perhaps yourselves could get more answers than me, but I will let you know if I have any come my way. I'll speak in my circles and see what I can
Thank
find
you.
as well.
We may have contacts within the coalition. We may be able to find information one way or another.
Well, best of luck.
Our
and
group has
may-
a knack of that.
May the gods be with you. As he nods to you all, and the stars to you, Sylas. And he
And the stars.
turns. The carriage is paid for by the day, so
Thank you.
please keep it. As he
Yes.
hops into his own with his butlers, who are still sitting there with the stuff on their laps. As you guys get into the carriage and head back down the road to where Diego, Ashira, and Mirabelle hopped off, we'll come back to them. As you guys have made it to the top of the road, before you, you see the Heartstone Library, which is a massive archive of historical documents and information. I will put the map pin on for you guys to read it, but it's a vast underground library housing ancient texts of elemental magic, geomancy, and the history of Terramore itself. Scholars from across Varidra come here to study. In fact, Elirr, you're aware of its existence, but not where it lies within the city. You will obviously know that once you get there. However, today, there's a book signing. A bunch of very excited women and men stand in the queue outside, and Diego, or should I say Carlos, has just strutted his way past the crowds, with many of the women swooning. A couple of them doing a double take and questioning whether they know this man. One or two convinced that this... You hear the occasional, is that Diego? Coming from the crowds, as then you guys arrive to the front steps of the Heartstone Library. It says in big writing, on a sign that you can say, it looks like it's been chalked on, hanging above what looks to be a stall just through the entrance. Shana of Heaven's Gate. And next to Heaven's Gate, you see what looks like two musical notes. And as you step through, I would say that as we come to the end of our session, the last thing you guys see is a pale-looking elven girl who looks up after writing something in the book. Next to her stands a large orcish gentleman. As Diego, your eyes meet, and before you is your friend, Milsey Tiller, and her brother, Brooke, who is also holding an instrument. And that is where we're going to call tonight's session. So thank you all for playing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being patient with me in the videos as well. And I know there's a lot of information given to you. I'll put all of it in there. At the end of this little me talking, I'm also going to put the tokens on the screen so people can see what the council look like at home. And I'll also send them to you guys post-session so you can see them as well. But yes, thank you all for playing. Thank you for watching. Until next time, catch you later. Bye-bye.